Whoop, whoop. There it is. Let's get into it. Yo, whoever said bye, get rid of that person. Whoever that is, that's like, this person's late and I won't abide by it. Goodbye. I'm unsubscribing from that person. I'm done. I don't. Get him out of here. Anyways, guys, what's going on? Love to see you guys. Man, pulling a Baron? Kind of. Am I muted right now? Anyway. Somebody said something very true. They said he's late because he had to poop. Kelly, thank you for that, Kelly. Okay, if you don't know, I'm on my weight loss journey. We are making sure to hit the oatmeal right in the morning with the berries and the protein powder. We're not playing around. Your boy already lost 3 pounds since I started this new lifestyle change, as they call it. I can't call it a diet. I have to call it a lifestyle change because I'm going to do this forever. I guess if all the pizza places close, I guess I will do it forever. I don't know. But if they're open, is McDonald's still open? Where's Burger King still good? What are we talking about? I guess I'll try. If fries go extinct, have fries gone extinct? I don't know, guys. Did someone do away with all the mayonnaise in the world? I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do it, but I will try. And then, yes, the coffee on top of that, of course. Let's jump right into it. Candace Owens actually catches Turning Point red-handed. This was amazing. Usually when I see something come out, I'm like, oh, I hope I get to cover this, But when I saw this, I was like, oh, Candace hasn't gone live yet. I'm like, hopefully her team grabs a hold of this thing and actually covers it. Because Andrew was straight up, just based on us watching Candace's show, we all knew listen, I can't exactly say he's lying, but it definitely doesn't match up with what's been said and what we're seeing. So as he starts saying this whole thing about, Joe Kent, I said I didn't want it public and then it was public. So I don't know. As soon as he started doing that, I was like, oh, I hope Candace talks about this. And she did. Oh, goodness, how she did. I was so happy about that. So she catches them red-handed and kind of just outs them for what they're doing. So we're going to cover that. Then we're going to jump into some more Candace as she talks about that text message, that group chat. Shout out to Aubrey, because there's no question in my mind, Aubrey's the one that gave her that, because Aubrey's been on a terror. If you don't know, Aubrey's the one that got fired. She's been pissed lately, really pissed. You can see her on X, really angry. So I wouldn't doubt that she handed that over. Maybe, allegedly, maybe, perhaps. Then we're going to jump into Joe Kent versus Mark Levin. Micro Mark, ladies and gentlemen. Micro Mark decided to step into the dojo with Joe Kent and got really triggered out of nowhere. Turn off that sub-only mode. Turn it off. Let everybody talk. Turn it off. I turned it off before I started the chat. Let it flow. Let it just let it all go. It's okay. It's fine. That's what we're here for. Let everybody, let them all fly. If Ben Shapiro's on his burner account, let him say all the things he wants to say. Go ahead. Micro Mark's here on a burner account. It's fine. Gary's here on what he thinks is a burner account, but it's his actual account because Gary's a little slow that way. Let it fly. It's fine, guys. It's morning time. As you can see, the coffee has kicked in and the oatmeal seems to be doing its job. So let's jump in. And then we're going to talk about Bibi. Bibi straight up defying Trump. Again, okay. So just straight up defying what he said. All right. Greatest ally. Fine. And then we're going to talk about Charlie's mentor. I'm just going to talk about it quickly. I don't know how to really break this down. He died from a pickleball accident. I didn't even know this guy was one of Charlie's mentors. In all of my searching and research, I've never heard this guy's name come up, but now it is. So let's just dive in, guys. How's everybody doing? Are you guys all good? You guys feeling good? Looking good? You know? I hope you guys are all right. Exactly. Ben Shapiro immediately hacked stream. He's not gonna hack it. He's here for a good time. Why do you think he's letting those eyebrow jokes out? It's because he's watching, you know, the community. Make friends in the comments. Shout out Ben Shapipi right now, everybody. Everybody shout out Ben Shapipi. If he's in here, you know, glad to see you. Eyebrow 1 and Eyebrow 2 making an appearance as well. I'm sure they're on their burner accounts as well, because those eyebrows are big enough to have their own consciousness. So I would imagine they have their own smartphones and they're able to type because they have so many little appendages with their hair. So it's all good, guys. Let's jump in. Worst advice of 2026. That's according to me. Straight up, somebody saying, you know, be Ben Shapiro, not Tucker Carlson. Be Erica Kirk, not Candace Owens. Be whoever this is. There, let's click on it. Dana Loach, not Megyn Kelly. Be Dan Bongina, not Joe Kent. Hey, worst advice. Every single part was wrong. Every single part was terrible advice. All right. Thank you so much, Rich F, or as you should be called, Dick. Thanks, Dick. Not the best advice whatsoever. And I don't think any of us are going to be taking that advice. Are you kidding me? The mechanics of me having to become as small as Ben Shapiro, okay? And then the eyebrows. I don't even know how that's going to happen. And then the next thing you know, I have to have the shark eyes like Dan Bongino. And then the hairline. I like shaving my hair. So now I have to bring back the hairline and I have to make sure it's in the middle, almost back towards my head. That's a lot of work. I don't want to do that either. And then I have to be Erica Kirk. So now I'm adding the sparkles in and I'm paying for all these pyrotechnics. I mean, this is all too much, guys. And then I don't even know who Dana is. But I'm sure she has some terrible attribute that I have to add to myself. I don't want to do any of this. Anyways, guys, worst advice of 2026. I don't even know Rich. Rich is catching strays for no reason. I apologize, Rich. Anyways, what did I want to show you guys? Oh, there was somebody who was, you know, an all love to Baron, of course. But there is someone, and their name is M. And we have to give her flowers. I just want to make sure that I find it. There she is. So, you know, one person steps in, and people do this when they love a creator. And Baron is very, very loved. You know, I posted this whole Project Constitution, reposted me. Shout out to him. Thank you very much. A peace offering of sorts. I appreciate it. I accept the peace offering. Appreciate you. Someone jumps in and said, Baron received the info on his podcast before Coach Colin did. Coach is awesome, but I suppose we should thank Baron and Daisy for this. No, man, you didn't watch the video. This is something that M that she put together. And in her video, or in her post, she credits Baron and then takes it a step forward. So you have to give people their flowers in that sense. That's why I was showcasing M in that whole thing. So, of course, Baron gets his love from M already. Then I show love to M. That's how the community works. That's how we help each other grow. We don't just push aside everybody and just say only focus on this one creator. We don't do that. I don't do that with Baron. I don't do that with anybody. I always try to shout out the people who have the theories. She is one of the people. She brought the whole Kanye West. That part about Kanye West wasn't known yet. That, like, I just wanted to just put that out there because you never know when someone's going to have their breakout moment, and because you love someone else more, you're stealing that from them. So just wanted a little house cleaning really quick, you know, little serious moment really quick, you know. M's doing great work. Mency, I don't know how to say it. I have no idea how to say it. You see it there though. She's doing great work. So, and you never know what that turns into. She could be like a research version of Fleet, and then all of a sudden she pops up out of nowhere and she's doing great things. You know, you gotta give people a little room to grow and flow and flap their wings and whatnot. Anyways, let's jump into this whole thing. Shout out to M, friend of the show. Let's jump in here really quick. Andrew Colvette. So obviously we're gonna play Candace's response, but I want to show something in regards to what Andrew is doing here. So we're gonna play Andrew talking about this whole thing. You guys have seen it. Andrew reposted this on top of this. This is a clip that I played for you guys yesterday. This is where I don't know how to say his name. I'm tired of just calling him the rabbi. I think it's Pesach. Is that Pesach? I have no idea. Walicki? We'll call him Walicki. Pesach or Walicki? Pesach Walicki? That is some name. Just no hate. I'm just saying it's some name. But we played this yesterday. Aaron, you know, who is she? And for some reason he goes on her podcast to break news, you know. And then Andrew puts this on top of it as he's addressing this whole thing. Perfect frame to catch Andrew in. Absolutely beautiful. And then all of the people who are like coordinated haters, let's just call them that. And we'll call them, what do we call them? Synchronized haters, you know, like synchronized swimmers. You know, they all do the same thing at the same time, right? Those people grab this story and run with it. And it's crazy because they're kind of even misquoting Andrew altogether. Let's play this. Let's go.
Yes, in a spirit of looking at every lead, turning over every stone, we wanted everybody that needed to know anything that we knew. Not just, I mean, and by the way, we've been accused of not being interested in the truth.
And just to remind people what this is referring to, this is after Charlie's murder, there were text messages that from a private group chat that were made public and were used to, frankly, kick off the big conspiracy theory that we've run into over and over again, which is that Israel or the Jews had Charlie murdered.
Yes. So,
which we do not believe.
But
I have to put this out there really quick. Like, that is how you try to, in a sense, poison the well. All theories now come under that umbrella of, oh, these are just people who hate these certain group of people. And that's why all these theories are coming out. It's not because the theories are solid. It's not because there's people doing hundreds of hours of research. It's just because they hate this one group of people. And we don't believe that, right? Just got to point that out quickly.
We have been accused of trying to, or we're not interested in the truth. The actual fact of the matter is that behind the scenes, we have given everything we know to give, every single piece of information. This was one of them. I was told I could trust Joe Kent. I provided the screen grabs to Joe Kent, and I don't know what happened to them at that point. Okay, I just want to make that very clear. Eventually, Joe did message me and suggest that I make those screen grabs public. I declined because those were shared privately. I didn't want to be reckless with them in the public. There could be innocent people on that group chat that would then be harmed. So I declined. But then, fast forward another week or two, and they were made public. So that's what I know, is that Joe suggested that they be made public. I declined, then they were made public. Can I 100% categorically say that he leaked them? No. But those are the facts. Maybe somebody on his team, maybe they got passed around, maybe somebody else leaked them. But those are the facts of the matter, and that's what I know.
Yeah, and the reason we're bringing this up, obviously with his departure from the administration, there's a lot of debate over what it means.
Is anyone really buying any of this? When these two get together, who is nodding their head saying, well, this is just true, honest stuff? Like, when you learn everything about these guys, when you hear them talking like this, like, who is actually buying this? It's clearly set up. It's clearly one of these very prepped things. Like, we're going to talk about this, right? And then you're going to say what you know, Joe Kent, and then I'll jump in, and that's how we're going to do it, right? Right? Okay, and then I'm going to say the part, and this is how we're trying to paint things here. Like, clearly that's what you're doing. Clearly.
People have been arguing, was he a leaker? Some people have suggested he might be a criminal. He should be indicted. We're not saying that. But this has come up, and...
Yeah. Well, and my name's getting tossed around with this as if I did something untoward. No, I don't regret any of it. I regret that they were leaked. I was told that I could trust him. I told that it was private and it would be guarded just to look into any possible leads. And by the way, we did that with a bunch of different things because we want the truth to come out. So we're not blocking anything. We don't even care if the answer is something that is really, really terrible, okay? We want the truth. We want justice. And we believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. We believe that they got their guy. We have additional questions. But guess what? It was an egregious breach. Whoever shared that screen grab publicly, it was an egregious breach. And obviously, we're not happy about it. But can't put it back together again. Can't put the paste back in the tube, as they say. And so, again, I just want to be very clear. I don't know who ultimately shared that publicly. But the facts are, Joe Kent was one of the people that had it.
Making sure to say his name as he ends this.
Very, very small group of people. Maybe one of his team members, whatever. But he did suggest that it was shared publicly. We declined because Charlie had every opportunity to say publicly what he believed. He did not say that publicly. And so far be it from me to put words in his mouth, okay? That was something that was private. So we wanted to keep it private. And I think that's being in keeping with being a good friend, okay? Is preserving somebody's trust in their privacy. So now everybody knows. Yes, Joe Kent had it. Yes, he did suggest leaking it. Can't prove that he was the one. But those are the facts, because there's been a lot of noise made about this in the past, whether, you know, or in the recent week, about allegations of leaking and things like that. I got nothing. I don't know anything other than that piece of the puzzle, okay? That's all I know. And I'm not going to recklessly tarnish somebody's reputation if I don't have all the facts. But now that my name's being brought up into it, I wanted to address it. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Interesting. So that is how Andrew goes about pushing Joe Kent under the finest wheel of the bus, making sure to say his name last. He didn't end it off with could be anybody. He didn't end it off with that. He ended it off with Joe Kent, public. I denied, it went public. So he made sure to frame that as though Joe Kent was the person. That is what he's doing in that clip. Now, I'm just going to skip right over to Candace. Then we're going to go through everybody trying to grab hold of this story and turn it into something it isn't, because I think this is a very important part of it. You know, of course, Candace comes with receipts. Candace comes with truth in this situation. Let's hear it.
That's what I know.
Yeah, the part that Andrew's just forgetting to add there is that he himself told me about the text chain. Andrew was telling multiple people about the text chain. And I'm so glad that he is telling the truth, that this was going around. And this is their bone to pick with Joe Kent. This is what put a bee in their bonnets. This is what has upset Turning Point USA. As a refresher, Turning Point chose to stay entirely mum on the topic of Charlie's support for Israel and instead allowed a force of Zionists who were harassing him in his last days, Zionists like Josh Hammer, to lie about what Charlie was going through, right? So I came out and told the truth. Megyn Kelly came out and told the truth. Tucker Mountain told the truth. He was having changing opinions on Israel. Now we're way far down and we know how true that is. Brett Weinstein has released his messages about Iran. You hear Joe Kent telling you the last time he saw him in the White House, he said that everybody knew this. And Turning Point did not confirm it and allowed Zionists to lie about that. Then I released the concrete proof in the form of the text chain, which then forced them to confess that there was a communication that took place less than 24 hours before Charlie was shot and killed. And more crucially, it was a communication that took place shortly before Charlie began texting his security and Andrew Colvett, which he also told me about, that he thought they were going to kill him. Okay, something that Erica initially denied to the public. So what we have here is that Turning Point is angry because this made both them and the new CEO and chairman, who also happens to be Charlie Kirk's wife, look bad, right? Liars hate when they get caught, but narcissistic liars, rather than repenting when they get caught, get angry and they seek revenge on the people who expose their lies. They never feel any shame, okay? They don't.
So just right here. So she already outs it. That Andrew was the one that told her about the text. I thought the whole time that Andrew was the one that gave it to her. When she all of a sudden had this text message chain, I mean, it's either this Pesach Woolly Lick or whatever his name is. Pesach. I think that's his name. It's either him, Josh Hammer, Andrew Colvette, Charlie himself, and there's one other person in this chain that we don't know. But those are the people that we do know. Josh Hammer was there. Pesach, Willie Lick, or whatever his name is. He was there. Andrew was there. Charlie was there. There's one more person. But who else could have been the person to give it to her? I think more so it would be Andrew than I think it's Joe Kent. That's just my thinking. But, you know, could be wrong. But it seems like it, you know? Yeah, Willie Lick nailed it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his name. If it's not, you know, friend of the show, it's fine. Yeah. It's all fine between friends, right? Anyway, so that's Andrew getting caught up once again. And that is the part that he leaves out. He leaves out the part where he says, I spoke to Candace directly. Why? Because in this climate of Candace hatred, you were not allowed to say, well, I was talking to Candace candidly. I was fine with her knowing certain things. I was talking to her all the time. You can't say all of that. Next thing you know, all of a sudden people are going to be like, well, Andrew should be indicted. I don't know. The DOJ should look into Andrew. All of a sudden, it's just going to happen out of nowhere. A certain bunch of people are going to just be like, I think Andrew should be arrested probably. I don't know. I mean, I always thought he was nice. And then next thing you know, Blake's going to be like, well, I mean, Charlie always said that Andrew should be indicted. I don't know. I mean, he was always talking about how Erica should be president, and he would always talk about how Andrew should be indicted. I don't know. It was always the topic of conversation. So I think Charlie would have wanted it this way. Can someone tell Pam Bondi that Charlie's sad in heaven because Andrew hasn't got indicted yet? I think that would be how they would pull that one. That's just me. That's just me. My opinion. Does that save me? That saves me from the letters. This is my opinion. Is that what I have to say? Fine. But I don't, you know, the whole thing just is gross. Once again, turning point grossness. Just saying something, trying to push Joe Kent, trying to frame Joe Kent as the leaker. I think it makes more sense because I think Turning Point would protect Andrew in this case. I think they would make sure to protect him. Why? Because if they didn't, and let's just say like that funny scenario I'm bringing up about indictments and this and that, if Andrew was put into that situation, well, then Andrew would be like, well, I actually know a whole bunch of stuff. And if I'm going down like this, I think other people are going down as well. So I think it makes more sense to push Joe under the bus than it does Andrew. And I think everybody at Turning Point is going to say, or is going to go along with what Andrew is saying right now, because it goes along with the narrative. I was telling you guys this a few shows before, that Turning Point is now this entity that just goes along with whatever narrative the admin is pushing. Whatever the admin is saying, they're saying the exact same thing. You know, whether it's war, it's like, well, Charlie didn't like war, but I mean, this war is spectacular. Charlie would have loved this war. You know, like every single thing that the admin needs, they're going to take Charlie, they're going to do the Weekend at Bernie's thing with his spirit, and they're going to make him mouth the words, I love war, I love this, I love that, Erica should be president. They're going to just make him do that all day. That's what they've been doing. So, I don't know what that means. You know, it just seems like they're just, I don't know. You know, at one point, Charlie always said he wanted to create something like the GOP. He wanted to create a second GOP that was like more young people friendly. And Turning Point has taken that to the next level and just merged itself with the GOP, where Charlie would push back, would make sure that there's many voices heard. They are no longer doing that. There is no pushback whatsoever. And they're part of the blob now. Swamp USA. Swamp Point USA. But let's get into these people who are now running with this whole thing, because this is how it works. Andrew Colvette shared his own chat with Joe in conference. No, that's not a leak. So this is this person saying that Andrew didn't leak anything. Somebody's basically saying what Andrew did wasn't a leak, but definitely what Joe Kent did is the leak. You know, and then this person says, no, that's not a leak. Kent presumably gave the chat that Colvette specifically said he didn't want private to a podcaster so that she could send it to millions, share it with millions, and frame a conspiracy. That is the story that they're just leaning into right now. If you really, like, I know Andrew's trying to push Joe Kent under the bus, but he's also trying to frame it. He's saving himself a lot, where he's saying, could be a person on the team, could be this person, could be that person. I don't even know in reality, but I do know Joe Kent had this. I do know Joe Kent. That's what he's trying to put into your minds. And now this is what the rest of them are trying to put into your minds. But also, I have to actually bring this up. I forgot. I wrote this down. Why would Joe Kent say, hey, Andrew, you should make this public? Why would Joe Kent actually do that? Right? Because Andrew's saying that. Joe Kent has not verified that conversation at all. But if that's true, why is Joe Kent doing that? Is he doing it perhaps because he's getting blocked from looking into the whole investigation? Is he doing it because the Bureau is actually not playing fair, is not giving up all the information, is not being completely transparent with them? So he goes, okay, well, if you have this and you put this out, maybe they will open up to me once again. Maybe that's why Joe Kent was saying, hey, you should make this public. Because Joe Kent knew that if he just takes it and shows it to the Bureau is going to take it and just go, this is it? Is this the only copy? All right, well, we will keep investigating that. Thank you so much. You know? It's just landing on Kash Patel. It's just stuck everywhere because he's covered in honey. You know, it doesn't fall to the ground. It just all lands all over him. It's just stuck. You know, he just looks at him and just says, it's under investigation. Thank you so much, Joe Kent. I don't know. We keep going. Dave Rubin, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, gosh. Not a friend of the show. So Kent sent Candace the screenshots, or at least shared them with someone who did. This thing is getting more rotten by the minute, right? Candace wasn't even brought up in what Andrew said. You see, this is what I mean as they keep on grabbing hold of this. He made sure to share this just as Andrew shared what he showed on his show, as Andrew reposted that on X. He made sure to share this right after, right? So Joe Kent sent Candace the screenshots. Also, we have this guy, Pesach Willy Lick, right? He's making sure to speculate, hey, you know, we verified what happened, right? Somehow he, who's not even really working with Turning Point, he is not a part of any agency, he does not work for the government, somehow he has gone and verified himself along with Josh Hammer and the gang. The Z Warriors, as they like to be called. The Zio Ranger. The Zio Rangers. That's funny. That's funny. There's a whole cartoon there for sure. And of course, Larry Loomer. Joe Kent is a serial leaker. Even Turning Point is now confirming it, right? Kent needs to be held accountable for leaking. Again, perfect frame to catch Andrew in. Absolutely perfect. Thank you for that, Andrew. I always notice Fleet. Fleet, friend of the show. When are you going to go away? I don't know, Fleet. I don't know. Honestly, I think she might be part of the government one day. Honestly, I think she might end up being part of the government one day, like actually having a position. I think that's a real possibility. With things going the way they are, you know, she's meeting up with the prez and stuff. It's, I know. I think it's gonna happen eventually. Sadly. So again, this is the narrative that they're trying to push as hard as they possibly can. Of course, another Z Warrior called the Zio Warriors. You know, they go by different names. Zio Warriors, Zio Rangers, you know. Z Soldiers. Andrew Colvette suggested Joe Kent leaked the information to Candace Owens. You see how they're molding reality right before your eyes. You heard what Andrew said. You heard what Candace said. But this is the story that they're pushing out there, you know? And this is very akin, actually, you know, as underhanded as it might seem, this is very akin to what Charlie used to do with the prez. When Charlie would talk with the president, he would say, this is how the base is going to feel. This is how young people are going to feel. And then he would go and he'd say, okay, Gates, Tatum, anybody that I have pull with, I need you guys to start talking about this in the way that I have framed it to the president, so he can start to see that this is not just me talking, it's us talking, it's the base talking. He would often do that because he wanted the press to know, like, no war with Iran, like, don't do these type of things, right? Now, that's what they're doing in a different way. They're trying to make it very clear that the story is that Joe Kent's a leaker. So any investigation that comes upon him, millions of people are going to look and say, well, that makes sense. I've been hearing he's a leaker this whole time. You know, Andrew Colvett actually said, this is mainstream media tactic BS. And it's crazy to see happening with these quote unquote independent people. This guy again, Ale, whatever your name is, Yakadu, Yale Yakadu. Candace, Joe Kent did not leak anything to me for the purpose of attacking Erica Kirk. This 100% proves, where's his letter? Where's his letter? Where's this guy's letter? Don't you get a letter now? What's going on? Candace, send out the letter. What is this? Send out the letter, Candace. This is nonsense. This is like their version of, you know, like what's going on here? This 100% proves that Kent leaked her information. Candace is notorious for selecting language carefully. She should have said he didn't leak anything. She should have said, unknown guy says biggest podcaster in the world should use the language that he actually thinks is better. Now let's actually play the clip and examine if he's telling the truth.
There is now speculation that Joe Kent may have been leaking information to Candace Owens for the purpose of attacking Mrs. Erica Kirk. What are you doing? Okay, I can tell you right now that that is completely untrue. Joe Kent did not leak me anything for the purpose of attacking Erica Kirk. There is
now that is their proof. Candace is just reading back what is exactly said by Larry Loomer, aka Jigsaw, as she is referred to fondly, right? She's just repeating back the language. So she's not being selective there. But again, they're trying to frame a story properly. Of course, back to Larry, right? The top Z warrior. If there's Zio Rangers, Larry gets to be the Red Ranger. Everybody knows the Red Ranger's in charge. Even when the Green Ranger comes in, that turns into the White Ranger, the Red Ranger's always the leader. Everybody knows. Joe Kent just told Mark Levin that he didn't give any text messages to Candace. That's not what Turning Point is saying. He is a liar. See how it goes? See how they're doing this? Very interesting. Right away, that's not what Turning Point's saying. But what did Turning Point actually say? See, this is why it's so important, because they're able to bombard you this way with all this stuff. But what is Turning Point actually saying? Turning Point, and you know, how many of us get all of these posts when we're on X, even though we don't follow these people, we don't like these people. She's basically saying, hey, Turning Point said, but what did Turning Point actually say? What did Andrew actually say? He did try to position it like it was Joe Kent, but he also made sure to say, I don't know who it is. This is just what I know, etc., etc. So they're all linking up. There's all this big chain. They're forming like Voltron for the older people out there, for all the 80s babies out there. They're forming like, or maybe even 70s babies. They're forming like Voltron. You guys know what Voltron is, right? If you don't, hey, what can I say? They're being Transformers. For the younger people, they're forming like Optimus Prime. There you go. For those of you that know who Voltron is, I mean, you had a great childhood. At least when you're watching cartoons. Josh Hammer steps in. This is indeed the theory that makes the most sense. Pesach Woolly Lick is correct. The FBI must continue to investigate Joe Kent, and eventually the DOJ should prosecute. See how that goes? And they're just going to continuously do this. Continuously. Anybody who is attacking Israel, anybody who is standing next to Candace Owens, anybody that they can possibly get this type of treatment, they can possibly get this done, they're going to do this too. If they could have had Candace investigated and indicted and stuff, they would have went for that a long time ago. You know what I mean? Kind of the same stuff that's happening to the president right now. They form a story, or happened to the president before, as he was running. They form a story, they make it reality, they push it as hard as possible, and then they act on it, and then no one questions it because it's been in the news for months now that this person is this person is that. And again, I'm not going to play this. This is Pesach Willy Lick, and, who are you? And they're basically just saying that they verified information is what they have. Then Sam Parker, friend of the show. Sam Parker, I should actually message him and just ask him to be on the show. Would you guys want to actually see Sam Parker on the show? I, myself, would love to see Sam Parker on the show. Hey, Sam, I'm looking at one of your posts here, and it's great, as always, period. Would you like to be on the show sometime? ? Why not? Help people out. Why not? If it helps out at all. I don't know. He's pretty well known. Sam Parker, breaking, incredible admission. Andrew Covet reveals he didn't want the public to find out about Charlie's change of mind regarding Israel. I'm almost speechless, right? Sam Parker then goes on to say, because this is as he posts this, right? This is as Andrew puts this out. Then Candace makes her episode, and then he has this. He puts this out. Plot confirmed. The Charlie Kirk narrative is now officially horse-shish. Here's why. 1, Andrew Covet confirmed he passed Charlie's text messages that suggested foreign involvement to Joe Kent. Joe Kent was actively prohibited from running down leads on foreign involvement. Now, let's keep going down here for you guys. That is a cover. And where there is a cover, there is conspiracy. It's that simple. No need to overthink it. Covet. Come on, say the name. You've been saying it for so long. Colvet, there you go, thought he was helping his allies throw Joe Kent under the bus. What he actually did was inadvertently confirm that there was a plot to take out Charlie. Whoops. And I would love for him to explain that more. That's what I would have him talk about on the show. We would talk about that in particular. This treachery cannot be allowed to stand. It strikes at the very beating heart of the Republic. That's what it seems like. That's what Barron gets into as well. Did I mention we're going to play some Barron? One very heated clip of Barron somebody sent to me. Very heated. Appreciate all the timestamps for Barron. Barron, if you're watching, I know sometimes it's hard to watch yourself, but oh man, I think you should have fun with this one. Anyway, Barron does say the Fed sloppers, and this is great. This is great to just, summarize what you're seeing happen right before your eyes. The Fed sloppers, they say you should only state what you can prove with reputable facts and evidence. Also, Fed sloppers, I just know in my heart of hearts that Joe Kent was leaking information to Candace Owens. I don't know, but I know. Someone send them a hoodie. Someone send them the I know hoodie. Go ahead. Somebody has to do it. Let's see. What's Vic saying here? I'm looking at emails. Who's this? This is not a real email. Get out of here. Hate the sales emails. Standards are only enforced one way. So I forgot to like that for Barron. Follow Barron if you're on X. He's laying into people. I love it. He's getting a little fed up. I have to say, from what I've seen of his last episode, he's getting a little fed up. He's getting a little angry. And then this person says, I wish they would show equal concern for finding the killer as they are finding the leaker who shared the truth. And that's a big one. That is a big one. Why don't they have the same veracity? Why don't they have the same wanting of these to find who actually did this, to go down all the rabbit holes, to consider the things that Candace Owens is saying? Why aren't they doing this? Why are they just stopping at Tyler Robinson? Why aren't they going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper? Why don't they come along with us? Come along with us and look at Erica Kirk's eyebrows alongside J.D. Vance's eyebrows, alongside the guy who wrote Mind War, who's a Satanist's eyebrows. Why don't they come along with us and do the side-by-side of J.D. Vance and Erica Kirk? Well, what's the issue? I don't understand. Come along. It's a fun rabbit hole. You know? Have fun with us. Look into this with us. You don't want to know about the palm gun theory? Are you serious? I mean, he's just like this and he has a little thing poking out. You don't want to know about that theory? It's a good one. You don't want to know about the microphone? You don't want to look into why they put it in on the inside? You don't know that? You don't want to see the footage from the back where there's no exit? You don't want to see? Are you serious? There's so much to see. They're not interested in any of it. Very weird. Very weird. I don't know. Anyway, it's like they're interested in something else. It's like they're playing for another side. It's very weird. This little clip of Baron here. Thank you. Who is this? One Tracked? Thank you so much for sharing this with me. Appreciate it. If you have more, share more, always.
What happened? Why does this matter? Great question. Here's why it matters. Because if Andrew left Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot, then there was a plot to kill him. That's why it matters. If Andrew left Santa Barbara before Charlie got shot, there was a plot to kill Charlie Kirk, and Andrew knew about it. That's why it matters. In my opinion, it is evidence that that might have been the case and that they've been lying to us the entire time. That's why it matters. There's no other explanation I can think of short of Andrew was having an affair with somebody in Scottsdale that he would be sneaking into Scottsdale when he's supposed to be on the air on the Charlie Kirk show. That's why it matters. And I'm sick and tired of the constant obfuscation and lies. And when we raise real questions like this, they ignore it. But when somebody says, you think Erica was buying a jumpsuit at Aloe? Oh, my God, no. Of course she wasn't buying a jumpsuit at Aloe. I was buying the jumpsuit. Oh, that's when you choose to come in and answer it? That's when you choose to come in and answer the accusations? Are you serious? That's when you come in, is when someone thinks he was buying a crop top?
Oh, man. Baron going off. And it's so true. If you don't know what he's talking about Elizabeth McCoy, right? With the whole, tracksuit gate that popped up, where Erica, at least her credit card, spent like $1,500 like the day after Charlie passed away on some black stuff for them to wear. Not even all black, actually. Different sizes, in fact. Very weird, all of it. But Elizabeth McCoy then puts out a statement, not just on Instagram, but she made sure to put it out on X as well. So she made sure that she had herself covered completely, to just put it out to everybody what actually happened, and that she's the one that bought the tracksuit, and she had the card, and it was given to her by Stacey Sheridan. That's what he's referring to there. Why do they answer those little questions instead of answering the big questions? Why do they always choose to do the little things instead of the big things? Why sit down with Candace if you're not going to be honest? Why do podcast after podcast addressing things if it's just easily debunked by Candace, by others? Why do you keep on doing that? That's what Baron's saying there. And yeah, I let him say it. But there's some kind of plot of sorts that maybe, or allegedly, maybe perhaps could have went on. It's all looking weirder and weirder and weirder as you go down the rabbit hole. So, and this was stuff that Baron talked about in February. Candace may have had that information, withheld it, as we've learned from Mark. And as we've seen time and time again, she tends to hold on to information. She even says that she's holding on to information in this little clip, which I really found interesting. And that part was a little, I guess, that other part over there that we did, Lance, at the 43 minutes, that's the clip. Now, that part with Baron, we're moving into the next part as we talk about this new group text that Candace got a hold of. I think she got it from Aubrey. If you guys think it was from someone else, please let me know. Maybe it was Andrew again. Maybe Andrew said maybe Andrew said everything.
Yep.
Maybe Andrew said everything that he said. And then literally the cameras went off. Blake left the room and then he was just like, hi, Candace, just sending you another group chat. Here you go. Screenshot, 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 screenshot. If you could please tell people Joe Kent or Aubrey gave this to you, it would be appreciated. Candace is just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. She's just like, what's going on? Maybe that's how he does business, you know? He's like, I'll give it to you, but I'll give it to you on the sly. Okay? Don't throw me under the bus. I don't know. But like I said, she withholds information and she does it masterfully.
So convinced that I did not miss on this, that I heard Andrew and understood him correctly, that they had flown separately, that it was among the highest priority items for me when I had the opportunity to sit down with Erica, Kirk, and Justin Strife. I had very few questions, and one of them was pertaining to the planes. I asked them who flew on each plane on that day, and more specifically, I said, did Andrew fly with his wife? Did not tell them about the tarmac hug. I kept that card close because I was going to be able to determine whether or not they were lying to me about who flew on which planes if I just didn't tell them that I knew about this tarmac hug, right? Justin Strife told me that he booked the planes. He said, I booked the planes. I'm paraphrasing here. He was like, and Andrew's wife was supposed to be on the plane, but I don't know if she got on it. Let me double check, he said. I'll get back to you and I'll double check. And he jotted down as something to get back to me. And he did eventually get back to me. He says, later, the next day or so, he texts me, says she was on the plane. And yeah, his excuse was like, I'm not sure because even though I scheduled her, sometimes, it was such a crazy day, things could have changed and maybe she found her own way there in the end. But of course, I looked at Erica, expecting her to pipe up and say, yes, she most definitely did fly with Andrew. You put that pencil down, Justin. I know, of course, that she flew with Andrew because we met on this tarmac and had this hug and cried. But no, Erica blanked me. She did the Erica thing, the eye. She stood there. Erica is the person who should have been able to answer that question instantly. It is not every day that you have a boohoo cry on a tarmac with a married man while his wife is standing behind him on the day of your husband's assassination. Is that fair? Am I being fair here? I feel like I'm being fair. It's fair to assume that Erica should have remembered that Andrew Colvette's wife was flying with him, but she didn't. Also,
somebody put this lady's hair back. What's going on here? She gave us the 1-2 shuffle. What's going on? Somebody give this lady a hair tie. What's going on right now? Are you serious? No hair tie? In this condition? Are you sure? She's trying to throw us off, guys. She doesn't want us to know when she's on the attack. She doesn't want anybody to know. She's stealth. This is a stealth bun that she has going right now. This is a stealth bun that's happening right now. That's exactly what's happening, little ponytail at the back that we can't see. You know what I mean? It's like one of those. That's what's happening here for sure. And yes, Erica should have known. Erica didn't say anything. Is this more lies or does she forget? Do you know about everything that's happened with every party involved, especially in the inner circle? When something like this takes place, as Justin, as Erica, do you know Andrew's wife, for him to be like, oh, she might have found her own way there. It's like, you're not going to a bar. You're not going on a little pub crawl or whatever people do when they drink alcohol. You're not doing one of those. Like, you're going to make sure that your husband's good because the person that he's been standing next to and working with for years is dead. Right? Or I guess at that moment, yeah, they must have known by then. Right? Oh, honey, you go ahead. You go ahead. I'll find my own way there. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna. All right, I'm going. What? Is his wife worse than Erica? What are we talking about here? That's a crazy scenario. A crazy scenario. I go to the dentist. My wife wants to be with me. She said, I wouldn't let you do that alone. I'm like, honey, it's just a cleaning. She said, I'm not gonna let you just go alone. The whole family's gonna come. Let's go. Right? I can only imagine. God forbid, something like that. Right? Find my own way. And I'm not 100% sure. Wouldn't you know all the things that happened? Wouldn't you be like, yeah, Andrew came, his wife was there? Because not just because you'd be trying to like remember everything like photographically, because it's such a traumatizing moment for everybody, right? It's like, who was it? Like, my dad had a funeral. Who was there at the funeral? I know everybody that was there at the funeral. Not because I was like, who showed up and who didn't show up. It's because it was this like traumatic experience for everybody, you know? Like, I remember who was there. I remember who I was standing beside. I remember who they brought, because we all had this exchange of sorrow. Wouldn't they be going through the same thing, but worse? My dad was old. You know, my dad was barren old. I mean, he's an old guy. I'm kidding. But we all went through that thing together. Wouldn't they be going through a thing together? Would these be quite like, especially for Erica to be like, not sure what happened there. The only reason you would do that, because we've all been like a 10-year-old kid. Somebody asks you something and you need to not tell the truth. I'm just saying, I'm not saying this is what Turning Point did. I'm just saying, as a kid, you would be like, well, I don't remember. Right? Oh, I don't, right? And everybody can see through it. Everybody knows that you should remember. Everybody's lived this life before. And you think you're just coming up with something on the sly, right? And nobody's seen this coming before. Oh, you don't remember. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. She doesn't get it either.
The other reason why I felt they were lying was, why would any person wait an hour for the PR guy to land before racing to the hospital to see their husband after he was shot? That doesn't make sense. Erica would have had to wait an hour on the tarmac for Andrew Colvette's plane. I instantly felt they were lying, and now I believe that I have evidence that proves that I was correct and they were indeed lying. And it is highly likely that Andrew flew by himself on Charlie's plane, plausibly Charlie's plane, because I now have a message chain from that day. Arguably the most significant text chain that took place on September 10th at that company.
So this is very odd, this part. This is something I didn't see coming at all. Like, I get it. There's this text message chain and but Aubrey, the lady who got fired so quickly, she had to write the statement. Were they doing that because they were all so worked up? Or, what was actually happening there? I wonder, because she had to write it. Were they doing that so she had to be the person to put it out there? Like, I feel like they're kind of like putting some kind of liability away from themselves and onto her. I mean, I could be wrong. It just seems so weird, because you'd be like, don't write the statement. Instead of having like the employee, she wasn't an intern, having the employee who works with Andrew do it. Very weird. Very, very weird. But let's get into this. Here, check this out.
Clear. At 1:02 Utah time, so 39 minutes after Charlie is shot, at 12:23, Andrew Colvette messages the group, and he says, he's telling them for communications, we can confirm publicly that he's been shot. Take a look at this, okay? In this group, we have Justin Strife, we have Andrew Colvette, we have Marina Minez, and we have Aubrey, who is later going to be fired over an Uber ride.
So let's actually read these, okay? Andrew says, we can confirm he's been shot. Someone gives a thumbs up. Hey, man. Not the time for thumbs up. Okay, buddy? Whoever that is, no thumbs up, guys. Come on. That's crazy. CNN wants someone to. So this must be in response to something else. Wants someone to. I guess they just miswrote to. Andrew says no. Can Morgan do a news hit at 8 p.m. EST with David Harris Jr.? One of the people that was attacking Candace without actually reading anything that he was talking about. Interesting. So he does have a little bit of a relationship with Turning Point. How about that? Interesting. Just claiming that he doesn't. Now he does. Cool. And then also just the fact that they're planning like news hits. You know, Candace said a long time ago, I think it was like months ago, maybe 2 months ago, talking about how Charlie was like a product, you know? And like the thing that they're like, I get it. Like maybe you already know how Erica is, maybe that like, but you're just planning news hits. You're saying like, how do we, you know, it just seems like you could just be like, hey, like this is a simple tweet. This is a simple go on his YouTube channel and just say it. Say it with tears in your eyes. Say it upset. Say it sniveling. Say it with schnapp bubbles. Say it with all you guys there. Say we don't know what we're going to do. Say may he rest in peace. Say the honest thing and just end the video and be like, we just wanted to let you guys know. But everything's like so weirdly prepped. If Turning Point Action, or Kirk family need extra temporary security, Sheriff Sheridan? Sheriff Sheridan is offering the assistance of the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Hold on a second. I gotta this is very loose, just gonna be very loose. There is a Sheriff Sheridan working at the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Is he related to Stacy Sheridan? I'm just literally just throwing it out there. Today, and his wife, Stacy? No, that doesn't make any sense. No. It can't be his wife. That's insane. What are you talking about? There's no way. Yes, Sheriff Jerry Sheridan is related to Stacy Sheridan. She is his wife. What? No. Hold on a second. This doesn't make any sense. Really? Is this the same Stacy Sheridan that works for Turning Point? ? That's a big coincidence. His wife's name is Stacy, and there's a Stacy Sheridan. No. Okay. That is a huge coincidence. That is a gigantic coincidence. Sorry. That just took me off. I was like, oh my, I solved it. No. Then he says, no. Morgan, no. Andrew Colvette, ? This is by Marina Minez. Is she on Fox? That's what Andrew asked. No, she is not. She's going to go on with David Harris Jr. at 8 p.m. EST. Then Andrew, quote, replies to Aubrey, sorry, on the plane, this just loaded. All of that's very weird. Very, very weird.
That Marina overhears. Here is that text chain. Okay. So at 1:29 p.m., again, I'm adjusting forward, Utah time, he is then informed that CNN wants to have someone on the show. Everyone's reaching out, right, to speak about it. And he instantly says no. Just a minute later, at 1:30 p.m., he's asked, can Morgan do a news hit at 8 p.m. Eastern? And there's no response. Okay, so at 1:30 p.m., there's no response from Andrew until almost exactly 2 hours later at 3:25 p.m. Again, this is Mountain Time. 3:25 p.m. Utah time, he asks back, is she on Fox? Like, is Morgan on Fox? And then he replies to that initial question that was sent to him at 1:30, and he declares why he's been absent for 2 hours. So he's following up, and he says at 3:26, sorry, on the plane, this just loaded. This just loaded. That's an important way of describing something. In other words, I am sorry that it has been 2 hours and I did not reply to you. I didn't get this message because this just loaded now. Okay. Maybe you're coming into land, whatever it is. Now all your messages are starting to load. Messages, as we know, cannot load when you are on a plane if it's a plane that doesn't have Wi-Fi. He is saying that the messages just came ineffectively. Do we agree? That's what that means. This just loaded. This time frame from 1:30 Utah time up until 3:25 Utah time matches within the time frame that Charlie's plane is traveling. Andrew shouldn't have even taken off, nothing. Okay? I'm showing you, this is Charlie's plane. And that plane is going to leave at 2:31 p.m. from Scottsdale and land into Provo at 3:31 p.m. And we're going to be told that Erica and Tyler and Elizabeth McCoy and Stacey Sheridan are on this plane. But this text chain makes it look like it's Andrew. Okay. Now I can tell you more, giving even more credence to the claim that Andrew was unavailable because he was on a plane during that time is the fact that Marina Mina's, the chief marketing officer, personally called Aubrey at 2:05 p.m. Utah time and asked her to draft the death statement, which was going to go out to the entire staff because, here's what's crucial, because Andrew's currently on a plane and I don't have it within me to draft this statement. Can you, Aubrey, draft this statement? Essentially, Aubrey, the 26-year-old, is now responsible for the unbelievably emotionally heavy statement that has to be drafted in Andrew's stead because he's on a plane. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that Marina, this psycho, is going to then just a few months later be behind getting Aubrey fired because she had a conversation with an Uber driver. Like, I am sorry, if you ever make your employee go through the emotional trauma of having to draft statements to the press and draft statements to the entire company to announce that their CEO has died on the day that they have died, you can't even process the emotion of learning this, that Charlie Kirk is dead. That employee should just be allowed to chill and do nothing for 3 years.
That's what they did. She was allowed to chill and do nothing for 3 years. That's why they fired her. They were like, "Go, you know what? You've done a lot for us here. Go ahead and take some time off. We're firing you right now. You're going to do great things. We just are going to fire you right now. So just putting it out there. You can't take any of your stuff. Just go ahead and chill for the next 3 years or however long you can get, any kind of assistance financially. Just go ahead and chill. Just outside the building though, because you have to leave now. Security is behind you. They will put you in a chokehold. They will. I've instructed them to if you don't leave. So you're going to do great things though. You're going to do great things. That's what they told her. They told her, you're going to do great things. Hilarious. Yeah. I didn't realize she wrote the death statement. Honestly, Aubrey, if you ever see this, you should have led with that. You should have, her first video she made talking about the whole thing, she should have led with that. Hey, I'm the one that wrote the death statement. I'm not, I'm just saying, that would have been a good thing for all of us to know. Why are we finding out now via Candace? She's been making posts like crazy. You should have said that. Should have said, hey, I'm the one that wrote that statement because Andrew was on a plane. And you know what else? Why doesn't Aubrey just say whether or not Andrew was on a plane? I think, again, unless it was Andrew in some wacky world, which we do live in a wacky world, unless Andrew gave her that text message thread, I think it was Aubrey. So why doesn't Aubrey just verify? Or maybe she did and Candace is just not saying anything. Oh, maybe she did. And now she's putting that out there. Should I even be saying this? You guys are saying it too, right? Because now Andrew will respond and then she'll be like, yeah, well, Aubrey told me you're on the plane. Oh, God, I keep bumping my foot into my chair. Man, I wonder if that's what's going on. I do have to check out Aubrey's account just to see what she's saying right now, because she is very much in this story now. If she has said anything towards it, I know she said something funny recently. Her and Candace were laughing about something. Aubrey Lech, has she said anything about this? This is the only thing she posted so far. It's Dwight, 0 days since Graham Allen last spoke about Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Megyn Kelly. 0. And it's in response to Graham Allen saying, don't trust Candace, don't trust Tucker, don't trust Megyn. That is all. Well, that is funny. Candace did laugh at that. So stop speaking on behalf of Charlie. So she hasn't actually spoke about this. And the silence tells me this is extremely disturbing and twisted. Okay. Yeah. The silence tells me that she must have said some kind of information to Candace, if she is the one that has leaked everything. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking here. That's the clip, Lance. That is the clip. Anyway, let's move on to Baron. Baron was pissed from the get-go. This is like, what, 6 minutes into his whole stream. He's pissed from the whole beginning. Jeez. Look at him. Look at him. He's going off. He's doing that thing. You're not even allowed to do that. You know that? You're not allowed to, like, rub your hands together. It's like, it's seen as it's a hateful gesture nowadays. You can't be rubbing your hands together, right? Everybody knows that. Anyway, let's play this. I felt like this was very informative, and I feel like it goes right along with what we're seeing currently, everything I just covered for the past hour.
It was great. I owe Coach $5. I clapped twice. I didn't mean to, Coach. Here's your opening statement. We've all seen it. One side is losing a political discussion, debate, argument, and in a fit of desperation, the party losing the argument latches on to one minor concession, one factual slip, some semantic quibble, a narrow gotcha moment, and they inflate it into proof of total victory over the entire issue. This almost inevitably is followed by prompt disengagement. It allows the cornered party to save face. Rather than continuing to lose an argument, they certainly were losing. This tactic allows the party to claim intellectual dominance and avoid wrestling with the broader, more damaging substance of the exchange. In politics, especially in, high stakes politics like congressional hearings, cable news panels, social media clashes, any other public forum. In politics, this move is often labeled a gotcha victory. The term gotcha, obviously, refers to the opportunistic pounce on a single misspoken word, an incomplete statistic, or a small admission, while the victory underscores the overblown claim that this one tiny element decisively ends the entire debate. It's quick. It's a quick, low IQ escape hatch, but it's effective because low IQ audiences fall for it nearly every time. This audience obviously would be exempt from such, but many people are not as high IQ as this audience. This tactic works because the audiences consuming political arguments rarely insist the two parties conform to the rules of logic. Instead, audiences are invested in the outcome. As such, they fall for the performative, the audience-driven spectacles, where perception matters more than truth. When one side is taking a beating on the merits of the argument, they can pivot to the micro level to regain control. Imagine, for example, a simple debate on economics. The losing side might fixate on one outdated data point. They hammer it as proof of incompetence. And then they proclaim the entire case collapses. They declare victory, and they never address the macro, the larger construct of the argument. They don't address things like expert consensus or even their own contradictions. And viewers, if they're tuned out or maybe deeply or emotionally invested in seeing the losing side win, they're able to walk away thinking the gotcha side won, even if the other side very much had the upper hand. This is bad faith. This is bad faith debating. If not outright intellectual dishonesty, it overlaps with several logical fallacies. Thank you, Joe. Your book had a large part in helping put this together.
Wow. Joe catching strays. Is Joe even there anymore? I think Joe would have blocked Baron so long ago. Still catching strays, this Joe character, Anyway. I found this very interesting as he broke this down, very eloquently. It's stuff that bounces around in my mind all the time, but I never get it out quite like that. And I would take what he's saying and I would apply it to what we're seeing with Joe Kent, Candace Owens, and him being a voracious leaker of sorts. So immature. I think it's the exact same thing. because the bigger thing, the gotcha thing, and here's the thing, it goes even bigger, because what they've done is they have formed it themselves. They have made Andrew say what he said, position Joe as the leaker, and then they are all not claiming victory, but they are all going along as if that is what is fact. They're all just like, yes, he is the leaker. You heard Andrew, you heard Turning Point. They just keep on repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. So in a sense, they are claiming victory. They are claiming like the victory is Joe Kent should be indicted. He should be prosecuted. That is what should be going on. They should be looking deeper into this person. He's clearly a leaker. He's clearly dishonest, right? We have our proof right here with this little thing that Andrew Colvett is actually, and the thing is, Andrew's a part of that whole thing, right? He's not just randomly releasing that. There's a reason he's releasing that. Like I said, he is merged with the admin. Turning Point is no longer its own entity that is doing fresh, amazing things. It is just a part of the admin. It's just an extension of it. The same way Twitter used to be an extension of the Bureau, an extension of the DNC. That is exactly what Twitter used to be. They had a direct portal, and whatever the past admin would say, the Bureau would take, they'd bring it to Twitter, and Twitter would silence all the voices. They have that same thing with Turning Point now. That same exact control, that same exact portal. It's just we haven't found it out. We know for a fact that that happened. Elon Musk told us he saw the portal. They destroyed all the information that was going into that portal. Elon has since been requesting Information Act. They say it's all gone, so they can't give him any information. He's been upset about it for years, actually. We can't do that on this side of things. We can't show that there's this actual portal, but we can see it. Just like you can't see that there's some kind of portal, especially the past admin, towards MSNBC and CNN. You can't exactly pinpoint where the portal is, but you see it because you hear the press secretary would say something, Mean Jean, whatever her name was back in the day, curly haired black lady. She would say something, and then the mainstream media would say it, and then that became fact. Now we're seeing the same type of thing. What's her name? Caroline. She says something. Then Fox says the same thing. Then they have her on to say the same thing, and then it becomes fact. Same type of stuff going on. That's what they're engaging in right now. I would love, if Barron's watching, you said you owe me an interview. I would love to do an interview and talk about that. I would love to talk about that more. Dissecting that. Because you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of people don't know that that's what's happening to them as they're watching things, especially when it comes to social media, because we all ran over to social media to escape the mainstream and everything it was doing, all the games they were playing. But now it's here. It's here on X. It's here on YouTube. It's everywhere. Interesting. Anyway, let's play another Barron clip. I do apologize if you're watching, Barron. I know it's hard to watch yourself.
We've been following this case closely that Charlie specifically asked Andrew to host the show that day. And he asked...
Oh, and that's the clip, Lance. That was the clip. That whole thing was the clip. Just to talk about that. That's the clip there.
Andrew to host the show that day because Andrew had stiffed him with Ben Shapiro on September 9th, an interview with Ben Shapiro. He again, in this same interview, I'm not going to go through and play the whole thing because the show will get too long. But in this same interview, Andrew says, I booked Ben Shapiro with Charlie on September 9th. Charlie was upset about it because he didn't want to do the interview. And I'll read between lines. Charlie hates Ben Shapiro, did not want to have anything to do with him, certainly didn't want him on his program, hadn't hosted him in a long, long time. And so he said, you know what? Because you booked this interview, you have to host my show tomorrow by yourself, 2 hours, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time. Andrew goes out and instead of hosting the show for 2 hours, hosts hour one. And then he does a pre-record for hour two. And what that means is he had previously done an interview. Charlie Kirk had previously done an interview with some economist or something. And Andrew clipped that interview, edited it down to an hour with commercials, and played it uninterrupted for hour two. What would that do for Andrew's time? No longer is Andrew required to sit behind a camera, sit behind a microphone for that hour. So now from the 10 o'clock hour to the 11 o'clock hour, Andrew isn't tied up. Andrew can pack. He can get his stuff together. He can make sure the airplane's on its way. He can make sure that all the timing goes off without a hitch. He's not tied to the microphone. He's not tied to the camera. It's a critical development in my theory here. And I am positing that this is my opinion of what happened. It's a critical hour. It was a pre-record. And actually in that show, I go on to show that I believed that furthered my position. This was again about a month ago. This would have further confirmed to me that Andrew was on this Santa Barbara to Scottsdale flight, and then Andrew was again on this Scottsdale to Provo flight. This is that same show. Show number 69 up here. And I at that point, I started thinking to myself, and I don't remember if I said it out loud on the show or not. And because I was trying to prepare at the last second, I can't remember if I said it or not. But in my mind at that time, it solidified to me that either Andrew Colvett was potentially having some hanky-panky with someone in Scottsdale and was taking advantage of the fact that Charlie was out of town and he was flying in to take care of his business, or there was an internal plot involving Andrew Colvett to remove Charlie Kirk from this planet, and that Andrew Colvett would fly into Scottsdale as part of that mission, and he would be on the ground in Scottsdale before it happened, or right as it happened. And then he would fly up to Provo after it happened, but he would fly from Scottsdale, not from Santa Barbara. That was just an opinion I came up with. I was just letting these facts swim around and trying to come up with any reason where these things made sense. And I was operating on two facts that I didn't share with you guys at the time because I wasn't sure if they were public. And they weren't public at the time. But I was operating on two facts. Candace shared them tonight. Shared one of the two facts. The first fact was that there was a series of text messages that morning. There was a series of text messages that morning, or that afternoon after Charlie Kirk passed away. And that those text messages showed that Andrew Colvett was on a plane before he said he was. This is a piece of her show today. Right down here on the bottom. There's Andrew Colvett, 3:25 p.m., 3:26 p.m. This would be Pacific time, not Utah time. And he would say, sorry, the plane just landed. Sorry, the plane just landed. So that's fact number one. Fact number two was that there was a call from Aubrey at 2:05 Utah time. I think I mistakenly said 1:05 Utah time earlier. It's 2:05 Utah time. 1:05 Pacific time. That said Andrew was on a plane. And the only way he could have been on a plane at that time is if he was on the Santa Barbara to Scottsdale flight. I knew that wasn't public yet. I didn't want to share the existence of that information at that time because I didn't feel like it was my duty to breach confidences. But I used that in order to help develop the timeline I had to put Andrew on two different flights. Because I had to account for the fact that he was on a flight before 2:05 Utah time, so that Marina would have known he was on a flight. And that's why he wasn't responding to texts, and that's why he wasn't responding to calls, because he was on a flight. And then I had to reconcile the second fact, which was Andrew says he gets off a flight later in the day at 4:35, which is just too long for one person to be on a plane when it's all taking place right there in the Southwest, or the Provo, Utah, Santa Barbara, Scottsdale area.
So with that, does this show planning of what happened to Charlie? And does it show that because it breaks away from the official narrative that Andrew and Erica both put together? Is that what it is? You know? Because bouncing around on a plane isn't exactly a crime, but if you're saying one thing and then it shows to be another thing through these messages that Candace has shown everybody. Go, Zeo Rangers. But it doesn't actually show that. Like what does it actually show? It shows that he was lying. Does it show that there was a plot? I guess it kind of shows everybody having a preparedness to get to where Charlie was before they could have possibly known there was a reason to get over there. I don't know. It's weird. The whole thing is very, very weird. Andrew isn't as innocent. No, he's definitely not as innocent as he seems, or as he has seemed when this all first happened. Back in September, he seemed very innocent. Now, we are all the way in March, late March. He does not seem as innocent as he did before. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's wild. It's wild, these messages that have popped up. But I'm positive that Candace is holding back something from Aubrey. Because Aubrey's silence on this, if you were to know about this whole thing, to know about the death statement that you had to write, and Candace Owens is talking about it, wouldn't you confirm? Wouldn't you say, yup, guys, repost what Candace said and say, yup, guys, this is all true? Wouldn't you say something like that? She's just gone silent. She's still writing like funny things and stuff, but she went silent on that. You'd think that would be the thing to really focus in on. I don't know. It's really weird. Really weird. So I can't wait to see what happens. And you know what? I was kind of upset when I first saw that they weren't finishing the Bride of Charlie series. I was like, come on, what the heck's going on here? But I mean, they could have fit this in. This definitely could mash into the series. But I'm guessing we're going to get an end to that series by the end of this week. But there's things that just keep popping up. Again, Candace didn't plan for Andrew to say all that. So, like we learned when we were talking with Mark, that sometimes they have an episode ready, just like Barron said he had an episode ready yesterday, and then he scrapped it all because of the developments that happened, and he realized, there was some stuff to talk about. Candace did the same thing, I guess. They saw this happen and they just pushed everything aside and said, let's focus in on this. And the Joe Rogan stuff, which I showed you guys already. I don't have to go through that. Candace saw the Joe Rogan stuff as well. He's backing her theories on Erica, a lot of our theories now. So the whole thing was interesting. But I will say, in regards to Barron, you take a bunch of hours to do a show, and then you had an hour and a half, and you still banged out a pretty incredible show. I'm just saying. Just saying. Saying. April's coming. May, June, July. Some nice months. Really, maybe you can just do an hour and a half prep time. Bang it out. You got Daisy there beside you. Maybe that's how you guys get ready. I take 20 minutes to get ready for my show. 30 sometimes. When you see it get to 10:15, it's like, okay, I needed 40 minutes. That's usually what's happening when you see that. But good show by Barron. Amazing show. Now, that is the clip, Lance. Now let's move away from the Charlie Kirk of it all. Kind of. Because Joe Kent is, because of this whole thing, is connected to Charlie Kirk a little bit, connected to Candace Owens a little bit, even if he's actually not. So let's jump into Joe Kent, Mark Levin. Check this out. This is how it all started. Funny. This is actually funny of Joe. It's taking Mark Levin 20 minutes, taking Micro Mark. Can't forget that name. It's taking Micro Mark 20 minutes to warm up. Apparently, he needs to work himself into a frenzy before he can talk to me, before he can let me talk. This is amazing. I don't know if he said that while it was happening or what, but that is hilarious. So if you don't know, Mark Levin sat down with Joe Kent. Mark Levin, Micro Mark, quite delusional in who he is in the media sphere, is a long-standing figure. You have to give him that. Is an author, written many books, right? But is not the ironclad interviewer that he thinks. I think when he looks in the mirror and he's thinking about himself being an interviewer, he sees Tucker Carlson. That's what he sees. He sees Tucker Carlson. He thought this was going to be him as Tucker Carlson and Joe Kent as Ted Cruz. He thought it was going to be like that. And it wasn't like that at all. I'm not saying Joe Kent gave him any kind of tongue lashing, but Joe Kent definitely stood his ground solidly. It went as well as if I told you that Joe Kent and Micro Mark had a fight. If I told you that, you'd be like, well, I know what happened there. And where do I send the flowers? When is Mark's funeral? That's what you would say if I told you they got into a fight. That's kind of how the interview went. It went as you would expect, right? Then somebody else said 30 minutes into the Micro Mark interview with Joe Kent, I've had 25 minutes of commercials, 6 minutes of Mark lying, and 1 minute of Joe Kent being able to talk. Now, Joe did get to talk more than just a minute. I will play some of this for you. Check it out. I guess Mark does like an actual radio show because I haven't seen any video at all. For real? I mean, just dinosaur tactics, you know? Crazy.
And also, as Secretary Rubio said, there was no imminent threat coming from Iran against the Americans.
Well, you know, he corrected that.
There was an imminent threat coming from the Israelis who were going to attack. But that's actually the truth.
Okay, hold on. We're going to do it. We're going to do it honestly, one point at a time.
Had observed, the Iranians had observed an escalation ladder. They hadn't attacked us under President Trump.
Can you do me a favor? And I don't mean to be rude. Can you talk a little more slowly? I'm having trouble hearing. Take your time. Go ahead.
Sure. When President Trump came into office, the Iranians knew that President Trump wanted to get a deal. They observed the escalatory ladder very carefully. They stopped having our proxies attack us like they were attacking us under the Biden administration. And they got to the negotiating table with us about the nuclear agenda. When the 12-day war kicked off and the Israelis started that, the Iranians still didn't attack us.
All right. We have to take a break. I'm going to circle back on some of your comments here, and then
He just started playing music. Now, maybe it was a hard break in broadcasting. I guess he's in a radio station. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on here. Would have been way better if they were just both sitting in their living rooms doing it via Zoom. But sometimes, broadcasts, they have like a hard break. But I feel like someone still has to like cue it in. So very interesting as Joe is talking about that whole thing, and he's making complete sense in his points that Mark's just like, okay, we gotta take a break here. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Here's some more. Play a little bit more for you here. Check it out.
He was influenced by the media.
You got a real hate on.
To make it public.
You got a real hate on, brother. No, you do. Hold on, Joe. When I had you on my show, I read your texts. I read them out loud, and you've like done a 180. Why is that? Because you had access to intelligence or something? Why have you changed completely?
I have not done a 180. I have no problem with us working with Israel. I have a problem with Israel driving our foreign policy in the Middle East as they have done to get us.
Do you have no respect for Donald Trump's agency, that he has the capacity to make these decisions himself?
I have the utmost respect for the president. You can read
my
letter.
You didn't answer my question. You don't sound like it.
I believe that he was influenced by the media echo chamber and by the Israelis.
Well, maybe he's influenced by your media echo chamber. Or maybe he's influenced by the Saudis and the Qatar. Who knows? He made a decision. Can't you accept the fact that he's a great president, that he took in all this information, he listened to all his advisors, and he made a decision?
It's very interesting to suggest that maybe he is influenced by Qatar, Saudis, but it's impossible for him to be influenced by Israel. That's nonsensical. Like, if you're going to go with the stance of the president makes his own decisions, you can't throw in other nations that could have influenced him. Like, what are you suggesting? Like, isn't that just as crazy as what Joe Kent is suggesting? That's how you're running this whole thing? This is amazing. Ian Carroll says below here, Mark sounds as detestable as ever, and he doesn't even realize it. Doing our job for us. Ian Carroll, ladies and gentlemen. Friend of the show, Ian Carroll. Doing our job for us. Yeah, he's making it very, very easy. He's making it super, super easy. This is crazy.
You may disagree with it, but why do you create a conspiratorial notion that Israel, 9.5 million people, a tiny economy and everything, dragged powerful Donald Trump, the United States, into war. Not one. You even had them dragging us into the Iraq war when on the record they said they didn't want to do the Iraq war. They opposed us doing it. Where'd you come up with that one?
In this administration, I watched the Israeli media.
You were there 7 months.
Of the Israeli government. I watched that. I came in day one, and I worked as the DNI's chief of staff until I was confirmed. So,
by the way, does Tulsi Gabbard agree with you?
You'd have to ask her. But what I did see is I saw the Israeli media echo chamber, and I'm not going to speak for Tulsi Gabbard. What I'm telling you is the red line.
You're speaking for the president. You said he was convinced by Israel.
No, I'm speaking for Joe Kent. That's why I resigned, so I could speak freely. I watched the.
By the way, that's very interesting.
No nukes to enrichment.
Go ahead.
What we watched, the red line moved from no nukes to no enrichment. That basically short-circuited the ability for there to be a deal, leading us basically to a military conflict that was driven by Israel.
What does that mean? Slow down, Joe. What does that mean? No nukes to nuclear enrichment. What does that mean?
That's a great question. So President Trump has always said, and I think most people agree, that Iran can't get a nuclear bomb. Now, the former Supreme Leader agreed, and he had that fatwa in place. So that gave the Iranians
the fatwa meant crap.
Get to the negotiating
That's
table.
where you and I disagree. Guy has a fatwa in place. Slaughters 50,000 of his own people. It's not. Hey, Joe, he's a terrorist.
Mark, I believe the 18 intelligence agencies that said that Iran was not developing.
But guess what? The president agrees with his own conclusions. That is, that you're wrong.
Okay. Well,
the president agrees with his own conclusions, which means that you're wrong. Hey, guess what? Oh, I'm going to have this impression down in no time. I've never really sat and listened to this guy before. It's not fun, but it will pay off. It will pay off in the future. It will pay off in the future.
Mr. Radcliffe believes you are wrong. The Secretary of Defense believes you're wrong. The Secretary of State believes you're wrong. And I can go right down the list.
Well, actually,
by the way, name the 18 intelligence agencies that agree with you, Joe. I don't even know what they are.
We don't have that much time, Mark. It's the intelligence communities of the United States. Most people can look those up. There was unanimous agreement by the IC that Iran was not developing a nuclear weapon.
All right, I got to take a break. We'll come back. I'm going to let you finish, Joe. I'm going to let you finish. Hold your thought. I got to take a break.
Hold your thought. I got to take a break. This is what Candace did. This is uncalled for. I think I already played this clip. Candace's show has an X right now. I don't know if you guys know. Most people don't know. That's why it's only at 28,000. But this is how they depicted Mark. This is crazy. Why did they do this? Why did Candace do this? I mean, it's just, this is the actual thing. Look, they just took the same clip and they just redid the face. I mean, petty, just petty. No need to do that. No need to do that.
Were you a leaker? Are you under investigation? Do you know whether you're under investigation? Let's try and clear the air right at the beginning.
Sure, Mark. Thanks for having me on. I never leaked any classified information. And the stories you're reading are stories from leakers who are leaking, I guess, maybe an investigation about me being a leaker. So I think it's just a media counter narrative. I had
so nobody has contacted you from Justice or the FBI or anything like that?
Nope.
Did you ever leak? Confident?
Nope,
Let me do it this way. Did you ever leak classified information? You said no. Did you ever leak confidential information?
Nope.
Never.
Never.
Were you cut out? Okay, you're on the record. That's perfectly fine. And that's a good thing, Joe. Were you a leaker?
Were you a leaker? Were you a leaker, Joe? Very interesting. Oh, not GTA 5. Oh, is that Lester? That is crazy. It's crazy that she did that. But there you have it. Joe Kent saying no, didn't leak anything. This is what Mark is trying to get at, obviously. He's trying to enforce that narrative. But even more so, he's trying to enforce the fact that Joe Kent is not someone to be trusted. He tried really hard to pull that off. It did not work at all. Yeah, it was just a bad run. I mean, there's more. There might be some overlap here. I tried to grab as many as I could.
When you put that letter out, you knew it would do maximum damage to the president, didn't you? The timing, for instance, if you were going to resign because you didn't agree with this war, why didn't you resign when the war started?
Because I was hoping that we would immediately de-escalate and try and get back to the negotiating table.
We would start a war and de-escalate in 3 days?
I was hoping that we were going to do limited strikes, and then limited strikes like we did in Midnight Hammer, and then back off and go back to the negotiating table. Once I realized that that was not going to happen, and we were spiraling deeper into this, and we were starting to lose brave men and women in yet another Middle Eastern war driven by the Israeli agenda, that's what led me to resign.
You got a real hate on. You got a real hate on, brother. No, you do. Hold on, Joe. When I had you on my show.
You got a real hate on, brother. You got a real hate on. Is that like hard on, but hate on? That's clever, if that's what he means. So that was pretty much the whole interview. Joe just telling the truth, Mark trying to twist it the best that he could. And he did not do a good job. And again, like Barron even made a joke about it. He did a whole impression. I don't think Mark thought he was going to accept. I think Mark thought for sure he's just going to ghost him. He's not going to say anything. And Mark was just going to be able to call him a coward and say the reason that he won't go on my show, but he'll go on Tucker's show and he'll sit down with Candace is because he's terrible. He's terrible. He's a leaker. He's not a patriot. Needs to be investigated, needs to be indicted. I'm positive that's what Mark thought was going to happen. But Joe handled it. He handled it pretty well, honestly. I mean, staying composed with someone like Micro Mark is very, very hard.
Why do you think the president said he never really remembers you that well? He never really met with you that often. Is that correct?
Well, the president meets with so many different people. I mean, he knew who I was, but by no means was I a primary advisor to him on a daily basis. However, in terms of determining the threat level that Iran posed to our country, I was a key part of that process. So that was very much in my purview.
And he rejected your view?
I don't think he rejected the view. I think he may have chosen to go a different direction, and I think the vast majority of intelligence and information that he received was given to him to paint a picture that Iran was on the cusp of developing a nuclear weapon, which just simply was not the truth. And also, as Secretary Rubio said, there was no imminent threat coming from Iran against the Americans.
Well, you know, he corrected that.
There was an imminent threat coming from the Israelis who were going to attack.
Mark Rubio did say that. He said it. I don't know if he meant to say it. I don't know if it was intentional that he said it, but he did say that. There was another interview that Joe Kent did. He is doing a lot of interviews recently. I don't know if anything's going to come out about him getting indicted or anything. I think the reason Dan Bongina is saying that, you know, watch out, you know, you're on record. You sure about that, Joe? You sure about that, Joe? It's because they're trying their hardest to form the narrative. And they realize, well, if we form the narrative enough and then we just do it, no one's going to question it because we have formed the narrative. We have bent reality in that way. But I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't think they have a strong enough case. And I think Joe Kent doing all these interviews and really saying what's on his mind and really making sure to put out that he did not leak any information whatsoever, I think that puts a counter to their counter narrative. So I think he's just worried about the war the whole time. Like a lot of people are. I mean, you know, there's many people who do not like what's going on. They do not want to see boots on the ground. And this guy lost his wife. I mean, what are we talking about here? Who is going to be more against something like this than a guy that lost his wife? His wife is now gone because of just useless wars. I mean, you know, I think it makes sense that this guy's going to hate that type of thing. Anyway, let's play a little bit of this.
Certainly. So I would say, yeah, my views did change. Being the director of the National Counterterrorism Center is probably the most senior rank I've held in the government. Prior to that, I was an operational guy. I enlisted in the Army at age 18, worked my way up from being a private to being a sergeant first class, and then became a warrant officer. So most of my time was deployed downrange at the operational level. In the CIA, I was a paramilitary ops officer, again, fairly low level. So I viewed Israel as a tactically impressive intelligence service, tactically impressive military, and knew that we got intelligence from them. They were easy to work with in terms of like they speak English and they're very similar to us. In the region, there can be some challenging partners just with cultural differences in terms of like day-to-day functions. And so I kind of had that view. I'd say about halfway through the war on terror, I just started reading more broadly, like, hey, how the heck did we get to this place? Because post 9/11, I was a true believer. I thought we needed to basically go to.
So I want you to hear what he has to say near the end, right? So this is how he felt before, when he first got into it. This is how he felt after.
Waltz had said over the years was kind of like ringing in my ears of the amount of influence that they had. And then seeing the way that Merschmeyer and Waltz had said over the years was kind of, that opened up my eyes, and a lot of us at that senior level and the level of access that they had, especially in the lead up to the 12-day war, that opened up my eyes, and a lot of what Merschmeyer and Waltz had said over the years was kind of like ringing in my ears of the amount of influence that they had. And then seeing the way that and I talk about this in my letter, especially in this last iteration of the war, where there was a concerted effort between members of the Israeli government, officially and unofficially, but then also echoed by the Israeli lobby here in America. And another thing I definitely have to hit on is running for Congress twice. I didn't take a ton of, I think I had like one or two donors who may have donated through AIPAC to my campaign, but going and having to talk to AIPAC donors, I realized how powerful they were. And I never fully said, like, I'll do whatever you guys say. So I never got a ton of money from them. But seeing it from the candidate side, just how much money could be available to you if you were willing to make those relationships was also eye-opening. Because again, had I not run for Congress and had to go talk to donors, and then had I not been at the most senior levels of government, I don't know if I would come to the position that I'm in right now. However, if you look at like, and I'm sure we'll get into this more, the public statements of like Marco Rubio and even President Trump saying that like, well, we had to go to war because the Israelis were.
So there you go. There you go. That is how he slowly changed his position by actually being in the belly of the beast. Very much, and it makes sense that he was working with Tulsi because it was very much like Tulsi. That is exactly what happened with Tulsi. Not in the same exact regard, but she went and she saw how the sausage was made and she was like, are you guys going to grind me up into sausage? And they were like, probably, if you don't say the right thing. And she was like, oh, I have to leave now. And then she became an independent for a while. And then she saw the Republicans and she said, are you guys going to grind me up into sausage? And they were like, no, of course not. We don't even eat sausage here. And then the next thing you know, they're just they're getting that grinder ready for Joe Kent, trying to grind them up. I'm just going to play, I'm going to pull this up. Little bit of a development happened directly towards what we're talking about right now. Looks like it's a too long, didn't read. That's what Ian said, at least. Ian said this is like, oh, goodness. Oh, goodness me, sir. Oh, 11 points and you did 11 twice? Do you have an 11 here and an 11 here? Oh, goodness me, sir. I will not be reading all that. I will not be reading all that. Some key takeaways from his interview with Joe Kent. I pressed Joe on the widespread allegations of multiple sources, news outlets that he's leaking classified information. You notice, again, when I talk about, the bending of reality, I pressed Joe Kent on widespread allegations from multiple media sources. This is people on X. Multiple news outlets. This is people on X. About his leaking classified information and in an investigation that started well before he resigned. He denied leaking the classified or confidential information to anyone at any time. He said he was unaware of the investigation. Now, he goes on to mention Candace here, so I guess I'll read number 2. You got me a little bit, Micro. Kent denied leaking Charlie Kirk's group messages to Candace Owens, which were given to him in confidence by Andrew, despite Andrew implying otherwise. Look at that. Even Mark knows that Andrew is implying otherwise, Colvette issued his own video stating Kent suggested that he make them public, which he refused. Soon thereafter, Owens released them and has obsessively used the text to suggest Israel had something to do with what happened to Charlie. We're not going to read all of this. I mean, Ian summed it up for us. Here, let me just see. Ian had it all summed up here. He broke it down pretty well. Where is that? Where's the Ian part? Here, I'll just go here. We'll go to bookmarks really quick. Here you go. Ian summed it up for us there. He said too long, didn't read. Mark Levin is a that place first belly creature that got absolutely cooked by a rational, calm, cogent Joe Kent. Okay, perfect. Summed it up for us. I didn't want to have to go through all that. So, Ian, friend of the show, solid source, you know. And the last thing that I have to say about this interview is what this person said right here. Don't be distracted by rumors. The question needs to be answered. Why was Joe Kent blocked from investigating possible foreign ties in what happened to Charlie? And that is the real thing to be asking about. Not whether or not he leaked, not whether or not he did this or that. It's why was he blocked from looking into that case? It's a big case. Why is he being blocked from looking into it? Or, you know, he's resigned now. But why aren't you allowed to look into those foreign ties at all? That is a great question. Anyway, let's keep going here. The next story I have is, let's get the translation going. This is what this person said. Bibi won't stop attacking Iran. This is our decision, IDF's decision. This is all just in his language. No subtitles here. Let's move on to this one. I think there's subtitles with this one. We'll slow it down a little bit so everybody can take it in. But let's see what he has to say here. Apparently, he is defying what Trump said. Recently, the president said, hey, you know, they are going to stop attacking Iran, right? He put his foot down. But let's see here. I won't play it. It'll be too crazy. Earlier today, I spoke with our friend. Not the president of the United States. I spoke to our friend. That's fine though. Whatever. Call him whatever you want. President believes. Keep going. President believes there is a chance to. Just had to slow it down a little bit here. Might have to speed it up a little bit. It's actually good. We can look at his fingers and stuff. How many fingers does this guy have? They're blocking the fingers. You see that? I only see 4 fingers here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. All right? Check out the teeth. Look closely at the face here. I'm not even reading it. I gotta read. There's a chance to leverage the tremendous achievements of, I believe he says, the IDF. Let's see here. Speed it up a little bit. Let's get moving. IDF and the U.S. You say military in order to achieve our war objectives in the. Let's keep going. An agreement that will safeguard our vital interests. At the same time, will we continue to attack both Iran and in Lebanon? We are cutting the missile program and the nuclear program tight and continue to hit Hezbollah hard. Wow. Interesting. So the president said the opposite. The president said, this stops. This is done. Don't want any more of this. We're going to stop. And they are going to stop because I say so. And Bibi has said something different. I mean, AI Bibi doesn't care at all. I mean, he is exactly like the original Bibi. Doesn't matter how many teeth he has, how many fingers he has. He always wants war. Ian Carroll says this is well past F around, and they are very deep in finding out. Yamaka deep in finding out. And I suggest they are going to find out this is the end of their little, oh man, this guy's not playing around. Ian doesn't play around. Ian does not play around, you know? And yeah, we'll see. Let's just see. They have brazenly defied the president for a pause on the attack energy infrastructure. Yeah, so they're not stopping. This is a real thing. Don't know what this leads to. but it's nowhere good. Nowhere good. And of course, you know, in regular spirit of things, I have to show you this. Check it out. Boom. That's what he turned himself into. I mean, it's getting crazy out there, guys. It's getting crazy out there, guys. If you're over 50, I mean, just assume everything's AI. You might as well. You might as well. It gets hard to spot. The younger you are, the easier it is to spot. The older you are, just assume it's all AI. And that person said, if that's what a normal guy has, imagine what the government has. And I have to agree with that. Just a little sidebar there really quick. So you're telling me, oh yeah, this is actually towards some weirdness that went on. Here, check this out. So basically, just 5 minutes before the announcement to halt the Iran attacks, massive trades reportedly hit the market. In one move, 1.5 billion in the S&P 500 futures was bought, while 192 million in oil futures was sold. These orders were 4 to 6x larger than any others at the time. This trade seemingly made huge gains, unusual. So basically, this person just tracks these things, and it seems like somebody was making money with this whole announcement. Yep, 5 minutes before the ceasefire, Inner Circle bought a bunch of stuff. Yep, they made billions of dollars. Billions. And Candace is commenting on this whole thing as well. She said a much more likely scenario is that Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are lying to the president about peace talks. Trump is just too dumb to realize they work for Adelson and Bibi and not him. He's living Plato's allegory of the cave. Kushner makes the shadows on the wall. I certainly hope not. I certainly hope not, Candace. That would be something else. I certainly hope not. You know, I hope she's wrong about this. And then I'm going to talk about this just briefly, right? We have Candace, the oh no face. Somebody put this thing out here, just Candace. But this is in regards to Jeff Webb dies of a bizarre pickleball accident. You know, breaking. Charlie's mentor and cheer founder of Varsity Spirits, Jeff Webb, dies March 19th, being hospitalized for a bizarre head injury, fall, playing pickleball. No one is making accusations. He was playing... What? Nobody's making accusations. He was playing Erica Kirk at the time, so just stop. Imagine. Could you imagine he was playing with Erica and that happened? She just snapped a finger and he fell. You know, oh, another Etsy spell. Uh-oh, sorry. I don't know. So basically, Charlie's mentor. I never even heard about this dude being Charlie's mentor. I don't know if you guys have heard Jeff Webb. George Webb. I don't know if you guys have heard of Jeff Webb. I have not. So very odd that he just got hit like this, hospitalized. Now he's gone. I am going to look into, I haven't been able to find much of him speaking. I would just like to hear his last speech. Like, what was the last few things he said? Did he have X? I wonder if he had X. If he had X, like, what was he saying? Like, if he was saying something like, we won't stop until we figure out what happened to Charlie Kirk, then it's like, oh God, well, I guess that's what happens. Someone put a detonator inside one of those pickle balls. I don't know what kind of balls they use, but you know, like, I don't see, it seems like he doesn't even have a page of his own, right? We say Billy Webb, we see the Webb, Webbin, but nothing of this guy, you know, Chank, that is how you say his name. I'm not making up a name here. Some people fondly call him Chunk Yogurt. Not me, though. Charlie Kirk's mentor just died in a freak pickleball accident. It's absolutely incredibly strange coincidence. If you're going to say that it's not weird that there are tons of pickleball fatalities, you sound nuts. I don't know what happened, but I don't think this is perfectly normal. Again, don't know much about this guy. Don't know what he's done. Give it a quick search. You know, who is Jeff Webb? And again, I've only heard about the man who was beside Charlie, the spiritual advisor that he had from when he went to the X-Men school, Bill Montgomery, or Govry. Frank Turek, Rob McCoy. I've never heard of any other mentor that this guy had. So it's very interesting. He's an entrepreneur, father of modern cheerleading, founded Universal Cheerleading Association and Varsity Spirits in 1974, multi-billion-dollar brand. So this guy was a billionaire. Anytime I hear something happens to a billionaire, I'm like, oh, that just something you would feel like if you had $1 billion, you'd be able to kind of get over a lot of things, you know? Doc, they say I was hit in the head. You're gonna be able to fix this, right? I give you $100 million. Can you fix it? You know, if you have $40, they're just like, I don't know what we're gonna do here. But if you have like $100 million, they're like, oh, I know what to do. Yeah, don't even worry. We have these. Each one of these is just, it costs $20,000. You take 4 of these and you'll be fine. You figure. That's why when I see a billionaire pass away, I'm like, I don't know what happened here. Seems a little weird. But yeah, this is all I'm seeing. I'm not seeing anything controversial about this guy, right? Yeah, conservative. He was active in conservative media, serving as the co-publisher and senior news editor of Human Events. He's a mentor to Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point, publicly praised Kirk as a future president. That's it. Dies at 76 years old. You know, March 19th in Memphis, Tennessee. In Memphis, no less. I won't say anything bad about Memphis, but I'm not a billionaire. So when I have to stay in a hotel in Memphis, it's not the greatest experience, I have to say. You know, I put things in front of the door. Let's just put it that way. I do. I put a doorstop into the door because it's like, listen, if you're from there, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just saying. Fall while playing pickleball. He was hospitalized and remained on life support for 2 weeks before his family made the decision to remove him. That's it. It is weird. I have no idea what it means. Just figured I'd bring it up. A lot of people have been talking about it. That's the clip, Lance. And we move on. Let's keep on going. Got a little bit of quick fire here. Somebody tagged me, Baron, and Candace in something. They said, just receive this in the mail. Read the first sentence. It's from Justin Strafe. You click on it. The first sentence, if you guys can't see it, it's right there. And it says, "Dear friend, Charlie would have wanted you to have this." And a lot of people who are receiving these correspondence are getting pretty pissed off because they're tired. The same way University of Arkansas, was tired of them using Charlie like this all the time. So there's that. Then what else we have on the quick fire side of things? Oh, Erica Kirk. Very odd. Very odd. Like this, I don't know. Why have these conversations if you don't know the answer? So this is her sitting. This is somebody filming her and not wanting anybody to know that they're filming. She probably doesn't allow her being filmed talking about anything, honestly. But this is her talking about Charlie's position on the war in Iran.
I put the kids to bed and I thought to myself, you guys are in our backyard. And I was really frustrated that you guys weren't able to have the counter tabling for the Enough America tour, and that really pissed me off. Especially because we have some really good people that could be on campus to counter program that. Yeah, no, to answer your question, my husband isn't here to say whether or not we should be at war with Iran. I would love for him to be here right now and to tell us if we should or should not. I would love it. I miss his voice more than anyone in this world. And, you know, it's frustrating when you have people speaking for him. I have a sentiment for that. But thank the good Lord that we have a bunch of his videos that we can look back on. And it's like chapters like this, I have to commend you. This is amazing. All of you guys sitting here together having debate, discourse, dialogue, that's what Turning Point USA is about. And that's what I wanted to continue. So when you ask what's our stance on the war, what's our stance on that, I actually would prefer that we have these types of discussions where our stance is on freedom of speech. And I want you guys to all continue to just...
So that is her talking about Charlie. This is also the same meeting where she revealed that she had not read Charlie's book. And she's like, well, you know, when I read it for the first time, it'll be the last time and I'll never be able to read it again. And it's like, that's not how books, it's not how books work. You can read them again and again and again and again, actually. But odd little meeting. I don't know where this meeting was. Did they actually tell us? Where was this actual meeting going on? Newly released video. So yeah, they're not telling us exactly where it was happening. This is just the person's video. Did this lady who tagged us tell us anything about this? No, she didn't tell us where it comes from or anything like that. So and honestly, when it comes to the war, I think we all knew how Charlie felt about the war, only because you have video of him saying it. That's the only reason that I say that. Not trying to speak for him. I literally just press play and hear him talk about it. And it's not like it was 10 years ago of him talking about it. It was recent. He's talking about Lindsey Graham. He's calling Lindsey Graham and the people who want this war maniacs. He's saying it's not going to look good. He's saying it's not something that should happen. And then for Erica, who supposedly knows everything, right? Because that's what we were told at the very beginning. She knows everything. Charlie has the plans. I have plans. Charlie wrote me plans up until 2029 or 2033 or 2064. Whatever number they land on. Year 3000, Charlie had plans until. You know, just for her to act like, oh man, I don't know how he would feel about it. Again, the reason that's happening is because, like I said, they've been absorbed by the admin, so they are not allowed to push against the narrative whatsoever. They can't do that anymore. And if they actually took Charlie's stance, they know they would be pushing against the narrative. Because Charlie pushed against the narrative. He didn't like it. He didn't want to see it happen. Thank you for showing us all. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Someone said I don't like Erica's speaking cadence. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't, actually. And again, I don't think it's because of her voice or because of her cadence. I think it's because you know everything about her. So when you start, you know what it really is? If you met me in public, I would be talking like this. Like, this is how I talk. And I would do the same things. And I'd bring up the same stuff. And I would be funny. And you know what I mean? I wouldn't be like, hi, what's going on? Like, you know, I wouldn't be like that. So when you start to figure out someone is not authentic, when you see them being authentic, what you view as authentic, well, it's a piss off. It's annoying. You don't like it. I don't like it. You know? Let's get to these super duper chats. So tell me something. Tell me if you're still here, Daisy. Is this a new thing that you put out there? Or is this the old one? Daisy was like, you know, she's like, where's my super chat? It's gone. And I was like, I can't even see it here. So I have no idea. And I don't know how to salvage it or anything. She said, I hope you figured that out there, Daisy. I don't know what we can do on our side to figure it out. Unless one of the mods took it away, you know? Maybe Whitney. Maybe Whitney has it out for you, you know? That's possible. I won't condone it, but it is possible. I'm kidding. Let's get into this. Dorothy, thank you so much for telling me your name's Dorothy, because I would have just mispronounced that every day of the week, you know? Matt, anyway. Tusiaron? I'm going to call you Matt. Matty T is what I'll call you. Is the ex-employee of Turning Point / whistleblower that went on Friends with Matt podcast. Might be BS, but worth watching. Yeah, I have been, I had it pulled up. I didn't get to listen to much of it yesterday because I had a bunch of stuff to do. I was working out because I got to work out like every day now. And then while I'm working out, the baby paints, so the baby likes to go to the gym. The baby lifts some stuff up. Got to watch the baby closely. Then the baby starts painting. Then the baby runs over to the gym with the paint, and it's just havoc. But you know, it's like some good core memory stuff with the baby and dad. So I let the baby do it. So I had to watch the baby very closely. So I don't want the baby messing up my stuff, to be honest with you. So, and then plus the baby wants me to paint. So I've been trying to listen to the podcast. So it's been a little hard to get through it all, but I will. So glad we have our morning streams. Now I don't have to start my day scrolling through FedSlop bots on X. By the way, we are neighbors. Don't tell Baron. He gets FOMO. I think Barron will be okay. I think he'll be okay, you know? That's so funny. Daisy, if you guys don't know, Daisy, friend of the show, absolute the greatest researcher in the world, apparently. Like Barron says the greatest researcher in America. Okay? So, just putting that out there. The Daisy, the Lance of the Baron Coleman podcast. Rachel, I said that so naturally. Wow. Heather, why do I do that? That's not even dyslexic. What is that? Morning Mint Daddy crew, Candace and Baron were on fire yesterday. I truly thought Baron was going to come through the screen. Never seen him that angry. Yeah, he was pissed. He seemed very, very pissed. You know? Especially when, like, you're doing that type of research that he's doing. Oh, my eye is going crazy. You're doing that type of research that he's doing. And then, like he said, they're answering things about sweatpants. And then also you're kind of under this looming threat of, are they going to come after me? You know, he's doing his best to show his opinion. He's doing his best to bring up very, very relevant, important stuff. And then also you have to kind of worry about like a threat. And it's like, what is this? Like eventually it gets to you and you're just like, what the hell is all this? Like, why do I have to be fearful, you know, of telling the truth? God bless the mods. Thank you so much, Christy. Christy Hughes, thank you so much. Becca Watson, 2023. Good morning. You truly brighten my day. I find myself walking around saying allegedly, maybe, perhaps, and it always makes my husband laugh because he thinks I'm a little crazy. You just walk around saying it, you don't apply it to anything. That's cool. I gotta get that merch out then. My eye is going nuts here. Look at this. I don't know why it's going so nuts. I need eye drops. Steph 007. Late Poppy. I so late Poppy. So late Poppy. So late Poppy. I so late Poppy. Do you have a P.O. box or an Amazon wish list where we can send stuff? God bless you and your family. Do I have a P.O. box? I don't know. I think so. Amazon wish list? I do not have an Amazon wish list. I kind of just get the things that I want. And I usually just, I want not, like, you know what I mean? I'm going to buy like 6 pairs of these. Like, I don't know. I like black hoodies. Like, you know, my wish list would look ridiculous. It would just be like black hoodie times 20, you know? It would just be glasses times 15. That'd be it. That'd be my wish list. I mean, maybe, you know, the wife, baby stuff, you know, but we have most of the stuff. We had a baby. There's maybe some new things that she wants, but yeah, we don't have a wish list. We were thinking about it. We're like, should we? We'll see. Fire B-ish Queen. Welcome to the crew. Gray Scout. Welcome to the crew. We're going to be talking about some stuff in the members only today. Some weird stuff. That's where we get weird, right? We break away from the investigation, Candace, Joe, everybody, and we just get a little weird in there. My husband and kids are catching on to the dialect we have created here. They also call the root beer poppy soda black poppy. They call the root beer poppy soda black poppy. That's hilarious. That's that probiotic drink, right? That's what that is, the poppy? I'm pretty sure. I've had a couple of those. Didn't know there was a root beer one. Late, because, yeah, you know, that oatmeal. That oatmeal has my body going right now. It's like the coffee has something to actually stick to today. You know what I mean? I'm amped up for some reason today. I don't know what happened. You know, especially those first few minutes. I was like, ugh. I was like, did my wife put Adderall inside this oatmeal? Says absolutely nothing. What is this? Shakwagi, Shakuagi says absolutely nothing. Okay. Then Shakuagi says, morning, y'all. God bless y'all. I know late Poppy. Whoop, whoop. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thanks so much. Heather, waiting for the Aberry merch. What do you mean Aberry or Aubrey merch? The Aberry merch. What do you mean the Aberry? Avery? What are you talking about? What merch? Waiting for the Avery merch? Avery? I always have to go to the chat to solve things like this. I have to go to the chat to solve things like this. What is she talking about? What is the Avery chat? What is that? The Avery merch. Does anybody know what that is? Anyway. Yeah, Aubrey. That's all I can think of too. All right. Well, thank you. And it's coming. One, none your business. Almost into fight over I know black poppy, Spanish no like. Yeah, some of them won't like it, and but they'll still say it when they get an opportunity to. Yeah, it's interesting that way. Don't like to be called out about it, Anyway, you say it to them, and you say, okay, never mind, you're black. Then see how they react. Oh, no, I guarantee it won't be a good reaction. Derpy Dogma, running into job number 2, wanted to ask if you saw Wolves this week. He covered how the president could be impeached, resulting in Erica Kirk as VP. What? That would be crazy. How crazy would that be? I didn't get through that video. I had no idea that's what he was building up to. That is a crazy notion. I mean, it could be. So he's gone. JD steps in. JD has all these people to pull in. He pulls her in. And there's like no discussion about it. That's the only way she'll get in. The only way she'll get in is if there's no discussion about it whatsoever. It's just no discussion, no votes, nothing. That's the only way she'll get in. Only way. That'd be wild. Never seen a brother and sister, head guy and VP. I've never seen that brother and sister tag team it like that before. That'd be very interesting. I love that theory. No, but I have not seen it all the way through, but that's wild. That's a wild theory. And again, that's the only way she'll make it in. There's no other way. People wouldn't legitimately vote for her. There are a bunch of people that would, but there's not a lot of people that would. I really think so, because she doesn't have anything. She doesn't have any. She doesn't have anything that applies to that. She just doesn't. Here's to Whataburger, sweat and spicy bacon cheeseburger. That's so funny. Whataburger's great. Whataburger's fantastic. I love Whataburger, man. I love the people there. Also, to you, you're running into job number 2. That's wild, man. That is absolutely wild. Hard. Shout out to you. Thank you for your service. Lifeblood of the country. People willing to do that. People that have to do that. It's crazy. Hope you're having a good time at the second job. I hope this has helped you get through. I hope they let you wear headphones and stuff like that. Man, so rough. I think back to the days when I had to do that stuff, and it's just like, man. It's rough. It's really rough. Shout out to you. I hope you have fun with your bacon cheeseburger. I am on a lifestyle change, so I don't really want to hear about your bacon cheeseburger. Thank you very much. I have to go eat chicken breasts with broccoli, rice, and honey mustard. I think that's what I'm putting on there. Or I might have oatmeal again. I don't know. I kind of love oatmeal. I don't know. Katie Lane, welcome to the crew. See you today after Candace. After Candace, you will see us. GM, Thelma. GM coach, been in the hospital. Glad to catch live this AM. You've been in the hospital. Are you okay? Is it family? I hope you're good. Hope you're feeling okay. Glad you got to see it live today. Yeah, I hope you get out of there. I guess you are out of there now. Let me know. That's wild. Oh gosh, Jamie's here, guys. Oh goodness. How narcissistic are these guys? It hurts my ears to listen and it burns my eyes to see. So dramatic, Jamie. And they are very narcissistic. It's part of the whole political thing, It happens eventually, I guess, People are giving you money. You're taking private planes everywhere. I guess it just kicks in eventually. Sarah, or it just brings out more of who you actually are, spending more time haranguing. I feel like that's the word, haranguing. Or haranguing. I think I had it right the first time. A supposed leak, then discussing the facts of what happened to Charlie. Like Candace said, they should hire her for PR. Yeah, they should have. And you know what? They could have hired anyone for PR that had no PR experience. And they'd probably hand out better PR suggestions. That's just me. That's just me. I think they could have hired anybody. I think anybody would have done a better job than what they've been doing. Just straight up. Coach, brilliant lexicon as usual. Cohen Film, shout out to you. Synchronized haters, trademark. Get to work, Matt Walsh, trademark. Philadelphia, trademark. Philadelphia Mints, trademark. He has the right idea, guys. That's exactly what's going on here, okay? Trademarking all these things. And the clap. Not that clap, the clap that I do at the beginning. It's all trademarked. That's how it works, right? I just say it, and that's it? Okay. Or do we just put these letters here? These like little letter emojis? Good. Consider it done. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. Debunked, undebunked. Coach, did you check out my sweet chocolate queen, Candace? That is a funny statement. Did you check out my sweet chocolate queen, Candace? I did. I watched her show yesterday. Kind of weird that you're calling her your sweet chocolate queen, but I did see the show. She was on fire last night. No cursing, no copyright. Oh, sorry. I would love your critique. Huge fan. All right, I'll listen to it. It seems like it's a rap song. You know who you should be showing this to? You should be showing it to Fleet and Lance, because Fleet and Lance have been making bangers of songs, and they could give you a real proper critique. I mean, unless you're just looking for me to play it on the show, my eye is going crazy. Unless you're just looking for me to play it on the show, I don't know if there'll be copyright. But you know what's crazy about the whole thing when people try and copyright? It'll be a 3-hour show. It'll be a 2-minute clip. And then the person with the 2-minute clip tries to take all the ad revenue. It's the most wild thing ever. 2 goons sitting behind microphones of a show named after a dead man have zero credibility. I mean, you said it, Ed. Ed Franks. Ed being Franks with us right now. 101, just so you guys know. Respect to you. Thank you for that. And you're 100% right. Guitar Superstar says absolutely nothing. Just shows us a diamond. Who is that? Who is that? Go back up there. C. Gonzalez. Under the finest wheel of the bus. Clip it, Lance. The finest wheel. Only the finest wheel for Joe to be thrown under when it comes to under the bus. Only the finest for him. He served the country, you understand? That's why they're all so nice to him, right? He's a grieving widow. You should listen to him. Listening to Coffee ad. Listening to you from Ontario, Canada. You know the place you said watch out for curry. I knew anybody from Ontario would instantly know what I was talking about when I said that. Can't go into it too deep, right? But you know what I'm talking about when I say that, right? That's why you're laughing there. I get it. Do you think we can convince yourself? Do you think we can convince yourself, Candace or Baron? Oh, okay. Sorry. To do a deep dive on Mark Carney. Let's see here. Canadians need to need their eyes opened to the bull poop going on over there, please. I've been thinking real hard about starting a Canadian channel and just covering Canadian news and doing a live stream like this, but doing it like just for an hour, just talking about one thing and that's it. I have been thinking of that for a long time. Baron's definitely not going to do that. Candace definitely isn't going to do that. I'm the only person who's been thinking about doing that because I think within 4 months I'd become Canada's Candace Owens. I think it would just be like that quick. I think it'd be real quick. Especially if you're like look at this person alone. heard me say, watch out for curry if you're in Ontario. And right away, they're like, oh my God. Like nobody talks about them. So when somebody talks about them and then starts talking about their issues, they're like, oh my God, I got to listen to this. Are you kidding me? Can have 250,000 people watching live. That's what I think about. I've been thinking about it for almost a year now. I've been thinking about this channel. If I have time, I would do it, but it's having the time to actually do it that is holding me back. It's not an easy endeavor. And I'd also need some Canucks on the team. They would have to help me out, send me articles and whatnot. They'd have to explain Pierre Poilievre was on Joe Rogan. He said the whole system is British. So I'd have to learn the whole British system, have your own, right? I want to join the Dead Parents Club. Oh gosh, Lisi, I unfortunately qualify. How do I join? Anyways, happy thoughts to you, Coach, Mrs. Coach Mod in chat. Oh, see what you did, Whitney. Now people are applying for the Dead Parents Club. Oh gosh, Whitney. You'll have to talk to Whitney about that. Whitney handles all Dead Parent Club inquiries. She handles all of them. Okay, you'll have to go to Whitney and then see what you have to do there. I think you're good. Once one of them passes, she just kind of lets you in. Regales you with fun stories. But yeah, go check it out. And it happens in the members. We talk about it more in the members. We got deep into it last one. The last members, we were talking a lot about parents and what's happened to them and stuff. Sarah Cryer, hell hath no fury like an ex-Toilet Paper America employee scorned. True enough. And there's a lot of them too. More than we even know. Sway Diesel, welcome to the crew. Chubby Egg says, just a chicky egg. See you today. Red Rangers cursed most, if not have died or in jail. Oh, all the Red Rangers? Is that true? Oh man, that's crazy. Is Tommy still alive? Tommy was the Green Ranger. Is he still alive? I don't know. I saw the Black Ranger, who's actually a black guy. What was his name on the show? Zach? That guy's like 60, still looks the same, still doing kicks and stuff. I was shocked. I was like, oh man. Guy looks great for his age. Still has the same haircut, which is crazy. Same haircut for 50 years, so crazy. They have more concern about the leak than what the text actually said. These people are brutal. Yep. That's the part they're not bringing up. And it kind of changes the story from what was said to who leaked it. It's like they're trying to shift the story. So it's kind of showing that the text is important, but in a different respect. So they're kind of trying to remove people's attention from what it actually said, when that's where all this attention should be. Green Amanda, welcome to the crew. Sway Diesel, that's actually a great name. Sway Diesel, what do you call a Jamaican spice trader? Cinnamon. Oh, excellent dad joke. That is an excellent white dad joke, right? That's exactly, that's like something my father-in-law would say. Hopefully he says that. He's in Jamaica right now. C. Gonzalez, they don't come along with us because they are devil seed. Oh, when I said come along with us into the investigation, yeah, it's something. Let me mute this. I gotta blow my nose or something. Gosh, was that even muted? I don't know. It might have been. Sorry. Colin spelled with one L, as it should be, Robinson. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Mint Daddy crew. Appreciate you. Heather, Uncle Baron definitely got my attention. Yeah, definitely. Going hard. Saved by Grace 99. What's Aubrey's ex? Go Coach, you're the best. Her ex? Here, let me see. I should have it pulled up still. I don't. Here, I'll just put it in anyway. I know what to do here. Here you go. You're looking for her ex. What? What? Am I muted or something? Why is somebody? Oh, someone's just like in the chat. There's like a whole thing now. This is her ex. If you're looking for it, there it is, right there. I don't know. Oh, I don't know how to say this name. I think it's Lech or Lechy, something like that. So there it is. Boom. If you wanna reach out to her, there she is. She's making a lot more movement on X nowadays. She's speaking her mind fully. Justice for Aubrey. Okay. Thank you very much, Rachel. Irie 741 or 714, sorry. If they are trying to mold reality now, maybe they have done it before. Oh, of course they have. Of course they have. I'm not going to get into this topic you're trying to put up there, but yes, they have. They absolutely have. And you don't have to go back to the 1940s. You can go back next week. Last week. You can go back 3 months ago. You can go back to 2024. You can go back to 2020. You can go back to 2016. You can go back days, weeks, months, years, decades, whatever you want. It's constantly happening. As long as Project Mockingbirds existed, that has been what's going on. And it goes way beyond just people just reporting. It actually gets into like this weird occult space as well when it comes to the molding of reality, the changing of time. You ever heard that there's years missing? You ever heard that? Or there was years added? You ever heard that theory? That there's years added? Yeah, weird theories. Weird theories about like the Wild West not being real. Weird theories about like the medieval times not being real. There's all sorts of weird things like that. Look into it, you know? Like, what year is it in Ethiopia? It's not the same year as it is here. How's that work? Battle Bun Energy, just say Julie. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what it was. Right? She deceived us today or yesterday. Xena Pledger, maybe Andrew and Erica having an affair. Well, you know, I think Baron wasn't saying it, but I think that may have been what was on his mind. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, that is something to think about. Obviously, we don't know. We can't know, but who knows? Who knows? Cohen film would make sense, though. Would make sense. I mean, it's not that it would make sense, but definitely in the information that we just received, it would all of a sudden start making people's wheels turn a lot more, I think. Let's keep going here. We got Cohen film again. Turning Point USA donations so we can fly in our private jets. Oh, donate so we can fly in our private jets. Yeah, of course. Of course. That's exactly what's happening. It's weird. It's weird too, huh? You think things like that wouldn't be able, but you know, you think the same thing about churches, right? Sometimes a church is a mega church, they got private jets. Like Kenneth Copeland, he has 2 jets. And he looks like a demon. It's like, what's going on? Like, why is any of that stuff allowed? It's weird. You would think they'd be like, you think somebody would step in and be like, listen, you're not paying taxes. You're not having a jet. Oh, but I need a jet. You understand, the Lord showed me in my mind. Listen, either hands behind your back or you're not getting a jet. You pick which one. I'd be the worst. Be the worst. Hands behind your back, man. It's crazy. You have a jet? How many people from your congregation get to fly on this jet? None? Just you and your wife. Hands behind your back. Turn around for me, son. Where'd you even get this jet money from? How'd you get jet money? You know? Joel Osteen, they found like $1 million in the wall of a bathroom. Hands behind your back, man. Like, what are we talking about here? This is crazy. Everybody. Hands behind everybody's back. Then when that hurricane came around, they're like, will you open your doors, Joel? He's like, no, everybody's feet are wet. And I don't want my church to get all muddy. So no, we're going to keep the doors closed, actually. What? And you get a jet? And you don't pay taxes? Like, that's a little crazy. Listen, Christian or not. not every Christian is your friend. You know what I mean? Like in the world of Christianity, I mean, some people are buying jets on other people's dimes. It's kind of crazy. No hair tie. She made a disclaimer at the beginning of her episode. Will do battle. Yeah, I know. We all saw the beginning of the episode for sure. But I mean, you're still tricking us, you know. Miss Coach says she bets the kids were hiding when they heard Baron's voice. Babe, I was hiding inside StreamYard with nowhere to go. I thought he was about to ask me to pull something up. Everybody was hiding. Everybody was hiding when he got like that. That's amazing. But, you know, with good reason. With good reason. He broke it down pretty well in that clip I showed you guys. The whole Charlie had the opportunity to say his piece while he were alive to say his piece is suspect coming from Mr. Colvette. Yes, very suspect. I mean, it's not even suspect. It's just, you know, just kind of manipulation, right? Kate T85, welcome to the crew. Kim Brown. Did anyone see when Baron showed a pic of the most gaudy gold sparkly sequenced hoodie? Can you imagine if Coach Baron, Ian, and Jesse all wore one the same day in tribute to Miss Kirk? Imagine Wolves wearing it as well. That's funny. That's funny. I didn't see that. I didn't actually get to see that. I don't think I'll be wearing a gold hoodie. I like black. And I like beige. Like I like a nice brown to complement the skin, you know. I like that. You know, maybe you'll see me in a nice green. I like a cream colored. I like that as well. I don't know if I'll be doing gold sparkles. You know, I just I don't know what the future holds, but I feel like that's just not me. You know, but if we all do it and we all get on live stream together, I mean, that's a whole other thing. I mean, then you got to celebrate. You know what I mean? It's like not wearing a birthday hat. You're at the birthday party. You got to put your birthday hat on. Anyway, Andrew K stated on Charlie Kirk's show, I'm excited the truth is out after Candace Owens dropped this text October 2025. Now they're not excited. Flip-flopping people. That is true. He did say that when those text messages came out. He went, I'm excited that the truth is out. Right? Very interesting, because that means that he told Joe Kent, I do not want this truth out. I do not want this public. Joe says, okay. They come out. Then he's like, I'm excited. Now that Joe Kent is public enemy number one, now he's coming out saying, well, I was betrayed by someone. And I think, you know, Joe, it wasn't Joe, but I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. 100%. Chubby egg. Popcorn. There you go. Journey of E. In my opinion, they had Aubrey write it because she was the only one not involved in the pew pew plot. She would give an honest answer / empathetic letter. An honest / empathetic letter, unlike others. They needed it to come from someone who was being real. That's a good theory. They needed it to come from somebody who's being real, authentic, being true. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Because I feel like it was something. It's very weird because you'd think this lower level employee, and you know, that's just my assumption. Andrew is the spokesperson. I would assume anyone working with him is lower. You know, not to say she's like entry level or something like that, but you know, she's a part of the team. She does the things that Andrew needs done. But that you think the top people of the company would come together and be like, let's hammer this thing out quickly. We need to do this. Because you think it would be all hands on deck, right? It's not just up to the PR people. It would be everybody. It would be like Erica, you know, because she's the wife. She's not even CEO at the time. It'd be Erica. It would be Tyler. It would be Justin. It would be Blake. It would be all of them together, coming together saying, hey, like, let's write this quickly and put this out there. You don't think you'd put it on this, you know, no insult to Aubrey, but you think you'd put it on this girl who's just working, you know, dedicated to the company, but, you know, Not working with Charlie like Andrew is, that's for sure. Not working with Charlie like Blake is. Not like Frank is, you know what I mean? I know Frank's not exactly a part of Turning Point, but still. Oh my God, Voltron was my favorite. Had a crush on Keith. Voltron, that was the stuff back in the day, man. That was the stuff. Interview is almost as bad as Tucker versus Huckabee. Yeah, right? That's it's that energy. It's that type of energy. Weird energy. I think Mark thought it was going to go way different. Way different. I did some research on Sheriff Sheridan. Where can I send you the PDF I made? I can't find an email. Nothing. Could be nothing, but I thought it was interesting. I wanted to share if you're interested. Share it on X. Just copy and paste that PDF because I don't click on links, and share it with me on X. Just send me the message or on Instagram, and I can read it and see all the research. That would be the best thing to do. You are already, who is this? DF within normal limits. You are already looking svelte. Probably lost 10 pounds. Keep up the good work. I heard you've lost 17 since this AM. Amazing. Yeah, 15 pounds of oatmeal, right? Amazing. Cannot wait for the members show. Yeah, that's coming. Yeah, I got to go and get ready for that, actually. And thank you very much. We are working at the weight loss. We're locked in now. We're locked in. I got to go work out right now with the baby. Baby loves the gym. Baby always just walks up and just goes, Dad, I want to go gym. I want to go gym. And I'm like, oh man, it's the one thing that can just drag me to the gym if I don't want to go, you know? It's perfect. Undertaker's wife. Is it wrong to say, friend of the show, when someone who hates me comes up in conversation? No, that's like one of the best times, actually. It's one of the perfectly timed times for you to do that. Congrats on the 39 pounds. Love the show. Altogether, it's been like 30. You know, but since we've locked in with this new lifestyle change, it's been like 3. But I mean, there was a time like I'm coming down. There was a time your boy was like 320 at one point. I brought that right down. You know, we're in the 200s again, celebrating. You know, not with pizza like I would usually celebrate, but you know, celebrating nonetheless. Could EK and Andrew be on the same flight? I don't know 100%. Not from what I'm hearing from Baron. I'm not actually seeing that. But yeah, no, I don't think so. Well, because Candace knows about the Tarmac story. She's kind of, you know, partial to that Tarmac story. And if Andrew says, hey, if Candace says that Andrew got off the plane, met Erica there, it seems like she was waiting, and that's the weirdness of it. She was waiting on the tarmac for an hour. Maybe it seems so weird that it's actually not true, and something else actually happened. You know, and then not sure if his wife was there. I'll check. Maybe she found her own way. I don't know. It all just seems very odd. Oh, very, very odd. So I don't think they were on the same plane, but I don't know if we're being told the whole truth about the whole plane thing. And I think that's what's pissing Baron off, because like he said, then that means something was going on more than we know. And what we all suspect, quite honestly. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Coach, for sharing. No problem, Short Coin. Appreciate you. R. Myers, AK, probably said that so Candace Owens would respond and not finish the bride of, oh, maybe they're thinking there's some information out there and they're trying to hold it up a little bit. So they're like, let's release this. Candace will for sure go for it. Oh, little 5D chess, you know? Possible. Where is Ian and Brandy and Billy? Well, Billy just, Billy is around. I don't know where they are. But Ian's around too, man. Ian's on Kick a lot. I'm pretty sure he's there. I haven't actually checked. Here, let me do a little update for you guys. Right, let's see. Ian. Let's just write in Ian. Right? Ian Carroll. Okay, he's not Ian Carroll on Kick. Cancel. Cancel Carroll. Cancel Ian Carroll. When's the last thing? 2 days ago, he put up a stream. See what I mean? He's doing stuff all the time. All the time. You just got to know where to look. Maybe he's not reposting to YouTube, but also check out his YouTube, because there might be something there that you just missed because you didn't get a notification. Seems to be happening quite a bit with all of us. Spade Coffin 1. One Ben Shapiro eyebrow equals 1 Ian Carroll mustache. Yeah, it does. It does, actually. Yeah. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You're 100% right. Renee, on the text chain where someone put a thumbs up under Andrew's text at the top, is the icon next to the thumb of the picture Aubrey. Is the icon next to the thumb the picture? I don't think it's Aubrey. I think, for me, I looked at it and I thought it was Justin Strafe. That's what I thought. It looks like a man standing in the middle of that little icon, but I can't tell. And when you zoom in, it's like nothing. It becomes nothing, and it's not the same as their Twitter or IG profile pictures. It's completely different, right? So really hard to tell. I don't know if we'll be able to find that one out unless somebody zooms in and like restores it or ups the resolution or something like that. Tammy Lee, that's how it always is with these text messages that get released. It's always distorted. Tammy Lee, now I'm in an angry mood because of Micro's voice. Oh, let me ask you something. Now I can see why Barron went with that type of impression. Well, I'm asking you. He kind of sounds like a, like way back in the day, like Dick Tracy kind of investigator. Well, let me ask you something here. It could have been anyone. Could have been Qatar. Could have been the Saudis, right? But he's not a real investigator. He's like always trying to throw real investigators off the scent. I saw him go that way. I saw him go left. Of course he did. And guess what? He was Muslim. Yes, he was. There's no proof that he was anything else. Go over there in the corner and check. He's like that kind of guy. Let's keep going here. Let's see here. Medna Fire Salts. It's weird that Charlie's mentor is the godfather of cheerleading. Reminds me of Turning Point's connection to pageants. Interesting. I don't know anything about the cheerleading world. I don't know if it's similar in that sense, like we've talked about pageants. I don't know if it's similar in the same way. I wonder. That's a good point there. All the way back up. There you go. Let's see. Who's next? Kim Brown once again. What's going on, Kim? Appreciate you. Charlie's mentor was killed in a pickleball. The day before he was going to release damning text message. Ooh, is that true? No. Let me know. Let me know if that's real. If that's real, please let me know. Please let me know. Because that's crazy if that's real. Sent one membership. Lance, Louisiana Lance in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Thank Lance for the membership. Look at Bullingdon Club / Farmers Connection, because Erica possibly related. He's her handler like Erica was to Charlie. You saying George is her handler? Like the connection to Charlie? Is that what you're saying? And they're related? That would be interesting. That'd be very, very interesting. I do doubt that very highly, but I'm open to it. Let me know how you got there without just saying it like it's a fact. Please show your work. Again, message me on tag me. If you're on X, tag me, showing me what you're coming up with. Or you can actually DM. Instagram, same thing. It would be much appreciated. First super chat ever. What is this? Kensley? It can't be that easy. Is it that easy? Kensley Pearson First super chat ever. Sorry, it's not more, but it's what I have. Hey, you don't have to be sorry about that. Your knowledge and humor get me through the day. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Really appreciate you. Nana Rubio. It's Mark Rubio's sister, just so you know. Steph 007. No one would co-sign Erica as VP. She still, no one would co-sign Erica as VP. She still would have to be approved. The president has been impeached twice before. I doubt anything would come of it, even if they did impeach him. Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, it's an interesting theory. It's definitely an interesting theory. But I don't know if that's really gonna happen. Christina Dover, Whataburger, friend of the show. Whataburger is a friend of the show. I forget which one. The one I love. I think is it by I-90? I think it is. It's like around there. Wait, yeah, it's like off of it. It's a great one. Or no, I forget where it is. It's by this hotel that we used to stay at. It's the best one. The people there are the best. They're just nuts. It's crazy when you go in there. I'll have to point it out for you guys sometime. I'm correcting people now. My name is Rachel. Aubrey is what I meant. Yes, we figured it out. Fingers typing wrong. Fingers be typing wrong. Yes, my fingers be typing wrong too. My voice be working wrong a lot of the time because I use voice to text all the time. Kim Brown again. Barron suggests that EK has the framework of being real heavy one day. What? Barron was pissed yesterday. Has the framework of being really heavy one day. JD2, our future prez and VP, can make a guest appearance on My 600-Pound Life. That's hilarious. That is so funny. JD definitely does. I guess, you never know, right? You never know. That's so funny. Has the framework. I mean, just the most insulting way to say it. Yeah. I think you have the framework to be really heavy one day. What? Huh? What'd you say? She has the framework. That's why. That's a wild thing to say. Barron was pissed yesterday, if that's what he said on the show. Wow. Candace with her battle bun. Ben with his battle brows. Wow, that's amazing. Susie Hill, thank you so much. The battle brows. That's why he's doing it, because he's ready for war. Fidelio. Shh. Don't tell anybody, Mikey. Don't tell anybody. Undebunked. Bro, it is for this show. It's glorious. My chocolate queen, Candace. Please, bro. You won't be mad at it. I tagged Fleet and nothing. Well, I mean, there you go, right? You tag Lance next. Find Louisiana Lance. Ashley Tyler, do you have a P.O. box? Love to send you some art. Oh, you're trying to replace the pictures behind me? I know what you're up to. Fine. Jeez, nobody likes the pictures. Yeah, nobody ever did, you know. No one's ever been like, I love those pictures behind you. No one ever has. Moira. So do we get to see the wifey later? No, she won't be on camera. She won't be on camera because she might have to deal with the baby. We're setting it up so, when the new baby comes, she'll be able to just be in here. Like if we can entertain one, and then she'll nurse the other, and then we'll just have a time together, have a little podcast time together. So she won't actually be on camera. I want it to be the least amount of pressure, so I don't want her to have to feel like, oh, I gotta put on makeup, I gotta do this, do that. It's like, no. Just sit there and just grab a microphone. You're just gonna talk. Don't worry about it. Impressorin? That Aaron is an abomination to all Aarons. Oh my gosh. Undebunked. Me, most humble man alive. I'd never admit it though. Yeah, with the last thing you said. I know. It's okay. You got to love your work, right? You have to love your work first, and then other people will start to love it after. odd. Charlie Kirk's advisor, hospital 2 weeks. And they were told, and were told after he passes away, what EK info revealed 2 weeks ago. Sus. Silenced. Ben's eyebrows need a zip code. They need their own zip code. Well, that's a little bit off of what you're originally saying. But I appreciate it. But yeah, what came out 2 weeks ago? So he went onto life support 2 weeks ago. What were we talking about 2 weeks ago? Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Huh. I got to think about that. From that club, I thought we had already established they're not the same family. Rothstein and the other, like those aren't the, well, I mean, you could say they are the same, right? But they're actually not. But I get it. Get where you're going there. I get it. George is that, and that's what that is, and yeah, I get it. I don't think so. Yeah. That sticks with me like Charlie's still alive. That's how much that sticks with me. My favorite quote from you is, I like to see things flourish. You said it without much emphasis too, but it hits hard. Definitely a quote to live by, coach. Quickly becoming my life motto too. Yeah, you got to let the smaller people grow. You can't just push them aside because like you love Barron or you love Coach Colin. Like there's smaller people doing work. You gotta let them, let them shine a little bit. Especially with that theory. When I was talking about M, she came up with that. That wasn't a thing. That wasn't what Barron did. Like she did that. That was her own thing. She found his information and went a step further. You gotta acknowledge when the smaller people do something a step further. You have to. Otherwise, it's like, I love to see things flourish. That's why how many people were like, oh, you shouldn't let this Fleet character do this. I'm like, what are you talking about? You have no idea what this turns into. This could be incredible. She could turn into an animator. She could turn into Mike Judd. She could have a full-scale show. She might have an animation company one day because of what she's doing right now. I'm not going to stop that. That's crazy. Yeah. That's just how I feel. That's how I feel. That's what I told Lance too before we started working together. I'm like, hey man, maybe you don't want to work with me. I'm like, maybe you can become something huge. I think Lance has the research skills of Ian Carroll. But he wanted to, so we did it. But yeah, you gotta let people hit. Like like when we hear stories about Ben holding back Charlie, it's like how much does that suck to hear that Ben tried to do something to Charlie and Candace and to make it so they didn't flourish. That they didn't become the voices that they are. Like, how much does that suck to hear that? It sucks. It's terrible. So it's like, you don't want to do that to people. You gotta let them flourish a little bit. See what happens. You never know. Anyways, guys, we are just at 3 hours. I have to say bye. We got to prepare for this next show. There's a bunch of things that we want to talk about. I don't know what we'll actually touch on. Where did my wife, where did we send those messages? Oh man, did we lose them? She was sending me a list of things that we could touch on. Now it's just a list of foods. What happened? I can't find it. Oh, I hope we saved it somewhere. There was a bunch of things we were listing. We were on a drive. We were listening to some wacky stuff. We were like, we should talk about this. We should talk about this. Honey, if you're here, where is it? In what converse? Actually, don't worry. I'll find it. There it is. Boom. Yeah, we got Garth Brooks. Kiss of Christopher Walken involved in a potentially, maybe allegedly, Python Hunter, Giants of Kandahar, Smithsonian, Mountains or Tree Stumps. I love that one. Noah's Ark in Turkey, celebrities living close to Denver Airport. That's the one I want to touch on today. I would love to expand on that a little bit. Simulation theory, Antarctica, secret government projects, and then one mystery one that I wasn't sure if we should bring up. But that's for the members. That's coming soon. And then of course Whitney and the Dead Parents Club, of course. She will regale us with beautiful stories about parents being gone and whatnot, you know, as she does. Thank you guys so much for showing up today. I truly appreciate it. I'm hitting you with the buys, just saying bye. What time is the membership show? It is after Candace. So we're going to let Candace play. I don't know when she's going to go on, but I don't want to have you guys be like, oh man, Candace is on, this guy's going at the same time, right? It's always a, you know, because you're not going to divide your time and then you're like, oh, I missed your thing, you know? So we're just going to do it directly after Candace. So she goes on 4:30, she's done 5:30, boom, we go on 5:30. If she goes on, you know, 4, she's done 5, we go 5. I will let you guys know as soon as she announces when she's going live. I will let you guys know with a community post. It'll be geared just towards you guys. So that is that. Thank you guys for showing up the way you did, and we will talk tomorrow. There will be more information, of course, more developments, and I will